This week in league, coaching masterstroke as Dean Pay photoshops Dragons players' heads on schoolgirls' bodies.
Josh Reynolds stung for a third time from a dodgy test result.
Madge shows shades of Sheenius, sacking Benji for not kicking a 7-point field goal.
Plus, we look ahead to all the action for round 5 of the 2020 NRL season.
All that and more this week in league. Welcome to episode 354 of This Week in League. I'm Nate.
And I'm Jay.
How you doing, my man?
Mate, I'm good.
Footy's me, got a bit of Rona.
Footy's well and truly back.
It is.
We got some fucking hot refs fault action last week.
Yeah. And the best kind of refs fault too.
We got some fucking, some faders, some old school faders back in there.
Yeah.
And
I guess the piece de resistance was the Broncos. Absolutely.
Yeah. That, what a week though. Like you think, you get that Broncos result, first of all.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, it teases you a bit. Teddy doesn't play. He's got the fucking Rona temperature.
Yeah, Teddy's not playing. This gives the Broncos a chance.
That's it. It's going to be close. And it's not.
No, spoiler.
But then to finish off with the Titans.
Yes.
And you and I both agree on second teams. But I think everyone was a little bit of a Titan for that last 2 minutes.
I think it's just that, I think every single game where there's like a prohibitive underdog and they show signs of life to the point where they're in it for a play at the end.
Yes.
Everyone's going for that underdog except for
the
team that the fans of the team they're playing against.
Yeah.
Because I love fucking chaos.
Mm.
And that was that was the chaosest chaos ever.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, but differently. Let's say last week the Dogs had come back against you guys.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not in it for the Dogs. I get no.
Well, they fuck schoolgirls, don't they?
That's it.
Do you really? Do you really want to support fucking Jeffrey Epstein FC?
No, not at all.
No.
Which is what that club shall now be known as.
Yes.
I need a new sponsor.
Yes.
Mm.
So I would just like to state for the record, listen to our voices, the health emanating from us.
Yes.
We would like to reassure our listeners that we are very happy people at the moment and not the least bit suicidal.
And so 100% that Epstein did kill himself.
Oh, he definitely killed himself. There weren't even any witnesses to it, let alone accomplices or any other parties involved in it.
Exactly. So how could he have done it when no one else was there?
Yeah. So please, Clintons, don't kill us. We have children.
No, that sounds like you're offering them.
Oh, shit. Stay away from the children.
Welcome, new listeners.
You got that shirt. They're going to find that. They're going to fucking choke you with that shirt.
No, but they know I wear it ironically.
Ugh, you hope.
Yeah.
That's like cops in America seeing cosplayers with swords dressed up as like fucking Link from Zelda and they gun him down because he's got a fucking sword.
Well, I would too.
Yeah. Okay. Straight into the news because, remember, this is within your time, but remember back in the day, way back in the day, it was like, with Real Dad, episodes would routinely go 3 to 3.5 hours, and sometimes we'd even touch 4, very rarely, like once or twice. But 3 hours was certainly nothing, nothing out of the ordinary, and it was kind of expected almost. And so when we started trying to just speed things up a little bit, there's a lot of backlash, like, these express episodes, and, there was less than 3 hours, and oh my God, Last week, we drop a 2.5, which is the longest this year by probably an hour.
Mm.
And saw some elements of bitching.
Well.
How times have changed, how the generational changeover in the fan bases
It's the instant gratification millennials.
It is.
Good on you.
Shall we record our episodes on fucking TikTok videos?
Yes, we should.
you had to be quick. Like,
Duet me on TikTok.
Do like Vine length game reviews.
Yeah.
So you've got 6 seconds
Yeah.
to get out whatever you want to get out.
No, just we have to pick a TikTok dance to describe each fucking game.
Oh God.
There's some good ones out there.
Yeah, every dance I'd do would be basically the dragons. Because it would be, well, as the dragons are to rugby league, my dancing would be the most retarded version of the dance
Nice.
that anyone had ever seen.
Nice.
Women's rugby league is coming back.
Mm.
The commission approved the continuation of the women's competition commencing in September. So, in reiterating his strong support for growing the women's game at grassroots and elite level, Volandis thanked the NRLW clubs and elite women for their cooperation and patience during the pandemic. The women's game is a very important element of rugby league, he said. We are very proud of our achievements in the women's game and we should be providing it the significance it deserves. I want to thank the clubs for their commitment to women's sport and the players themselves for their understanding as we work through this process. I also want to thank our broadcast partners, Channel 9 and Foxtel, for their ongoing commitment to the women's game. They will remain a 4-team competition this year with the grand final to be played on the same day as the NRL grand final on Sunday, October 25th. And I guess it's lucky that it's only like 4 teams too, because they kind of only go around like, once or twice, don't they? So
Yeah.
it's lucky that they didn't have to jam more of that in. So because September's very easy for them to manage.
Yes.
I think. And not to mention they'll have any learnings or mistakes from the male side of the game, hopefully well and truly.
Yeah, you'd assume it'd be a fairly smooth running ship.
Yeah, I mean, we're not really seeing that many issues at the moment. I mean, it's really scattered. It's basically guys get to the ground, do the test, the temperature test, fail, cool down,
do another one,
take it, get it, pass it, and the issues like with Benji today, which is not a huge thing. The Dragons though, they've given Mary 4 weeks to turn this shit around after starting off 0-4. They are going to wait until it's 0-8 to drop the hammer on him. Word is that they can't afford to get rid of him.
Yeah, because
he's on $750 a year, and if he were to be fired, I think he'd collect something in the area of $1 million payout, which they're just either unable to or unwilling to pay.
Yeah, at
this stage. Not to mention they also have they had their succession plan sorted, but they can't do it a year early. I mean, the succession plan has to be Flano can't start until after 2021.
Yeah, it's got to be an interesting environment there. Like Mary's. He knows that they haven't had the success that they perhaps should have had. They go and hire a premiership winning ex-first grade coach who has a fucking ticking clock as to when he can coach again, and they hire him as your assistant. Yeah. The fucking writing's on the wall.
Yeah, I mean, you'd struggle to convince Mary. I mean, he could never convince me that he wasn't gone at the end of next year.
Correct.
Regardless.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why they got Flano in there.
Yeah, exactly.
But did you see the thing from Hadley through the week about the Dragons?
No.
He was saying that that the Jack de Belin suspension under the no-fault stand-down policy is the leading cause of a divide in the club. He said that the club can't move forward until de Belin the issue is resolved. He says that his information coming out of the Shire and out of St. George is he's part of the training group because he's not been proven guilty of anything, but he's facing very serious charges. And it's like half the players support him, and then it's half the players don't. And so it's like they're almost training in two camps.
Yeah.
Which is why when they take the field to play on game day, they're playing like they don't fucking know each other.
And you know what? Out of all of that,
the
only thing I give 2 fucks about is that Frizzle seems to not support him because he wants to leave the fucking club. And he's about the only decent contender for the Blues out of that shit show. So I'm happy enough with that. Burn them all to the fucking ground.
And you've seen like Saab wants out, and now I just saw earlier this afternoon that Tristan Sale is wanting out as well.
Really?
Which is a big. I mean, because as much of a history as Wendell had at the Broncos, I mean, he kind of left under, he sort of had like bad blood at the end, with
100%.
and
when he took the fall for allegedly for Lockyer's fucking
and so then he sort of resurrected himself a little bit at the Dragons and had a great time down there for his final years of his career, and obviously that's what his son's playing there.
Yes,
not not in Brisbane. So it's interesting, and so I guess there'll be people trying to scab those guys, and you know what? I don't even think they're that fantastic, but they're like the best of a bad. Best of a bad bunch.
Yeah, like unless he was cheap, would you even take Paul Vaughan at the moment?
Only for cheap.
Yeah,
because he's a guy that would want to be paid the top line, like one of the top 2 prop salaries in the club. But he's it's a luxury for me to say like there's few props that I'd buy over the top of the 2 that we start with.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That's it.
Like I'm happy where that money, the big money is invested. But even like. Fuck, I don't know. I mean, what about you? I mean, like as a second to like, Fisher Harris or something.
Yes, maybe for experience, but he's not setting the fucking
You're not buying
on
experience
fire.
because you already got like Tamau's already.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
There's your experience.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt there would be clubs that would pay it, like the Titans, because they've got to pay top dollar to get anybody of note.
Yep.
And sure, he wouldn't even be mentioned he wouldn't even be in the possibles and probables squad named at the start of the year on fucking Freddie's blackboard.
That's it.
So once he went to the Titans, but
yeah, look, that makes sense.
But no, your point is correct. I mean, Frizzle is the one you want.
Yep.
And even so, he's been definitely affected by it. I mean, his form has been down.
Yeah.
On the year, and to me it looks like the effort's there from him, but he's, it's hard.
Yeah.
Any other news you want to talk about? I think Benji was dropped.
Benji was dropped.
Absolute fucking disgrace by the West Tigers in an absolute display of ungratefulness for the man to whom they owe everything. He's second on the Dally M table at the moment, and fucking won them the game against the Sharks.
It is interesting. The rationale I've seen for this, and I'm paraphrasing because it was so fucking ridiculous. I read it once and then had to...
Was it the stats one?
Yeah.
That's the reason.
And you know how I feel about stats and data.
Yeah.
But this is such a good example of how the misuse of stats, it's like, religion's meant to give people morals and an ethical compass. What ends up is little kids end up getting fucked by it.
Yes.
This is stats.
Yep.
And this is where you get,
they're the Catholic Church of numbers.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah. And these people that go around peddling their kid fucking numbers with things like out of 11 tries scored against them, Benji had a defensive lapse involvement or whatever the fuck they called it, of 6 out of 11. That's fine. But how do you rationalise? Did no one else make any other mistakes further up the field? Were there no repeat sets given to teams?
How do you rationalise the fact that to fucking Benji's right, you've got 2 of the biggest defensive gronks in the fucking game at the moment, and in combination they just like they almost fucking open up fucking vortexes.
Like someone runs through them and ends up scoring a try in round 20.
Yeah, exactly. It's like 1 to Twin powers, activate, form of turnstile. and like there's obviously there are people between Benji and those guys, but a lack of confidence in the outside men and everything causes people to it affects the way that they line up. As well,
but again, so how do you know that? Okay, were there no 6 again calls in leading up to any of the tries scored against the Tigers? Okay, are you going to drop anyone that infringed in the ruck?
Oh, but then you look at the other stats. Let's just look at the production of Benji versus Josh Reynolds.
Yeah.
Ever. No, fuck not. Fuck
especially
ever.
Kids.
2 years. Like... well, just like life partner selection.
Yeah, exactly.
I forget what her name is, but I mean, she's been great. Hasn't faked a single pregnancy as far as I know.
Hasn't commissioned a fucking graffiti artist to draw her titties on a wall in the middle of the fucking city either.
Yeah.
It fucking boggles me, and it's using stats like that makes people lose faith.
I understand if Madge wants to be like, bitches, you're soft.
Yeah.
I need to make an example of you motherfuckers to let you know that you all your motherfuckers you're on notice.
Yep.
I don't think Benji's the guy though.
Nah.
To be the victim of that.
100% he's not.
Yeah. Even if you just dropped a big hole like Joey.
Yeah.
Because he's like an outspoken, like big hole.
That's it.
Who is a contributing factor to defensive lapses on the right-hand side defense.
But then maybe Madge is fucking smart / weak enough to know that Benji's going to take this one.
Benji will take it with class as he has.
Have a little fucking dig and say, I'm disappointed and shocked.
Yeah.
Whereas BJ may fucking like, just detonate.
Camera.
Yeah.
Send me back to camera.
Yeah.
That's probably right. And I saw Gronk of a theory on Twitter, where all Gronk theories live, where they were saying it was like not a conspiracy, but it was like a planned move, like because Benji's enough of a team guy to like he'll take the hit for the week to so Madge can get his point across and to the players, and it was like in combination with each other sort of move. Yeah, bullshit. Benji's getting on and he wants to play fucking football until the wheels fall off.
That's it.
And
but it's stuff like saying, well, Benji did this, so this is why we're sacking him.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the next time shit comes around, people go, oh yeah, you fucking numbers again. Not a smart move.
Nope.
No.
What else? I mean, don't really need to be talking about that Josh Reynolds thing. I mean, it was the dumbest fucking thing. I had a member contact me who's a copper, and he laid out the entire, how these drug tests and everything work, and he says there's so many false positives. With the roadside one.
Yeah.
That what you should do is just wait a minute and just give him another roadside one, because generally that'll nip it in the bud and save you all this fucking paperwork down the track as well. Because when you have to take them back, and then they have to have the the test back at however they conduct that one, and then they have to
But who knows what the letter of the law is? Who knows that if generally that's what they do because common sense. But like any business, there's a fucking bureaucracy and red tape.
Yeah.
And under the process, if it is a positive, you must do this.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a high-profile individual, you make sure you follow everything 100%.
Yeah. The thing that shit me off the most about the story, I mean, like these things happen, and obviously he's been vindicated, and there was no problem. I mean, and like that license thing, fuck me, I tell you, it can happen to anyone. Happened to me. I remember, like, I never got pulled over for it, but I remember getting my wallet out for like ID for something over like a Christmas sort of New Year's period, and like my license like expired on like the first week of January or something. Yeah. Well, no, it expired in like the middle of December or something. Yep. And just that time of year, you're not even fucking. I had no idea. I wasn't even thinking about it. And then I was like, oh fuck, this expired. So then as soon as they opened up straight after New Year's, went down to the DMV and got a new one and everything, and that was all fine.
Yeah, I found mine when I went to.
It's very easy to fuck that up though.
My clubbing days were long past me, and a friend was having a DJ session.
Yep.
And I went in to support, and it was one of these newfangled, you got to like give them your license and it scans it, thing, so they know exactly who was in there, what time you went in.
Yeah, sure.
And like proof.
Yeah.
That you were there. And he's put it on the machine and it's gone, and the guy goes, no, you can't come in, that's expired. I'm like, fuck.
And we're like, motherfucker. You do concede, though, that prior to the expiry date, it was a valid.
Yeah, I'm still me.
I mean, I am still significantly,
which again
over the level at which you would refuse me entry to this club.
Which the fucking loophole, funnily enough. Yeah. And I won't say what bar it is, so they couldn't let me in. Right, they could not let me in. Mm-hmm. However, if I made an inquiry to hire out the venue for a function. Then they could take me in and allow me to have a tour of the venue. So all I had to do was, while I was waiting out there, send an email and say, I'm interested in hiring for a function, please. Yeah. Can I please have a tour?
And that was to cover the bouncers letting you through on that loophole.
And the guy came down and got me and took me in and said, please enjoy your tour. It was like a thing. So
the thing that shit me off about the whole incident, though, was that Buzz Rothfield, he sort of released it early in the afternoon as like, oh, this is a new thing that's come to light, blah blah blah. And at that point, you know what, you can say that's fine. I mean, that's it's not news to me, but it's definitely the sort of stuff that qualifies as rugby league news for journalists. But the thing that the time I got pissed off with was then in the half-time break of the game. It was about 5 p.m. and then they had a panel thing, or was it after the game? I can't remember. It was, but he was on the panel, and they said, "Oh, what's this thing? We got this news about Josh Reynolds." And he said, "Yeah, blah 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 blah." It's this. But before that had happened, Josh Reynolds had already been on Twitter and said, "This fucking bullshit." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
He was always X Y Z.
Yeah.
And he just never didn't change his story though.
Yep, that's it.
Like revise it correctly, even though the information was out there.
Yeah.
So,
well, again, that should be no fucking surprise to anyone.
no, it's not surprising. It's
It's the ultimate fucking clickbait.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, why would you go and correct it?
Thing is, he got his clicks on the. I mean, he already sucked them in at the start with the legit story. As the facts were, that he knew as he knew them at the time.
Yeah,
but once
exactly.
you've been corrected, retract that shit, you dummy, and fucking apologise. Fucking beetroot cunt.
Exactly. The only other really, not even important one, but was the Erin Molan fucking embarrassment.
Yeah, I didn't even want to fucking talk about her, to be honest. It's just, yeah. It seems that, like, I don't know if you saw, but I saw something on Twitter, like, not that long ago, like, probably like 7 o'clock tonight,
Yep.
so like about an hour and a half or 2 hours ago.
Yep.
Where she has come out and said, like, stated the facts of the reporting, saying that, like, the reporting said that I claimed it was like an inside joke or something. That's bullshit. That never happened. The reporting said that, and there were a couple of things that they kind of sensationalized. They jazzed it up a little bit. And what's happened is, like, she's obviously done it, and her pedigree, like her old man, is like right wing nut job as it comes.
Yeah.
So look, it wouldn't surprise me if she was to hold certain points of view. I don't know if she does, but it wouldn't surprise me if she did, based on just genealogy. But what's happened is it's been reported in a very sensationalist way, and so the players. I saw Aaron Marr tweeted something about it. He's like, actually, that's where I might have seen it. I mean, he might have quote tweeted it.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, the rugby league players are like, don't believe everything you read in the paper. And then all of a sudden, all the Polynesian players believe exactly what they read in the paper.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm no fan of Erin Molan. I mean, I'm sure that's been apparent over previous episodes of the show, but yeah.
It reeks of the fucking unprofessionalism that is so rampant in so many aspects of the game.
Yeah.
And just put a fuck. It gives these shit cunts more to clickbait about.
Yeah. Exactly. Must have been a good week in footy because, I mean, there's the story, the threshold for the big stories to pump
exactly.
has been massively dropped.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Righto, recaps. And so in light of not wanting to go too long on the episode this evening, we'll blast through those and we'll try and find the happy medium that everyone's happy with in terms of... it's crazy. I remember back in the days of Glenn, it was like we would almost fucking play-by-play every single play tackle.
Yeah, it was a fucking recap.
That happened. It was more than a recap. It was like a presentation of the entire game for the blind. Okay, anyway, Thursday night, the Sydney Roosters 59 inflicted the biggest beating in Broncos history on the Brisbane Broncos at Suncorp in front of a paltry crowd of cardboard people at Suncorp as well. I mean, they obviously knew that that there was going to be that massive flogging like this, and they just did. The fans didn't show up, and the players certainly didn't show up. The Roosters 59 came through tries to Jamos, Kyle Flanagan, Manu, Victor Radley, a double to Crichton, Luke Keary, Lindsay Collins, Daniel Tupou, and Brent Morris. They really spread them around nice too. Flano, 9 of 10 conversions, and Keary with a disrespectful field goal. Beating the Broncos 0.
Yeah, right from the get-go.
Like right from the get-go.
Yeah. This was apparent who was there and who was far more prepared.
Mm-hmm.
And the Roosters came out and roosted last week. They were probably, we said the closest to the older, the pre-1 ref and pre-6 again style. And they just tweaked a little bit more.
I just feel like they just played with incredible energy and a lack of taking their foot off the pedal for almost the entire running time of the game against a team that was just not fucking... Like, there's massive problems there mentally in a team that doesn't want to be there. Sure, they haven't got David Fafita there at the moment and Pingu and whoever the fuck else. But, man, that's still not...
Yeah.
Like, that's like one of those emotionally, like, fucking scarring things on a player.
Yeah.
Some of these young ones as well, they throw in, like, Arthurs and guys like that got just absolutely raped.
Yeah. Looking through the Roosters, it seems apparent that they enjoy both sides of the game.
Yeah.
There's a bunch
they're known for conceding penalties, rather than, extra sets rather than tries.
And it was exactly in this one. The penalty count was actually 8-4 in favour of the Bronx. Mm-hmm. But this Roosters
penalty
side...
Broncos.
Yeah, penalty
As
Broncos.
Always, as
it's a
they
thing. It's a fucking thing. And Radley's your prime example. Mm-hmm. He's doing exactly what he needs to do in attack, but then he'll do exactly what he needs to do in defence. There's no letdown.
No.
Between either sides of the game. The fucking tackle that he had on Flegler.
Yeah.
Like, that fucking 3 seconds alone, right there. That's the difference between the two teams.
That 3 seconds alone is like, probably see you in Sky Blue this year, young man.
Fucking oath it is. Fucking oath it is. But it was just, everything about it was textbook. He did exactly what he needed to do.
Yep.
Got the job done, and then fucked off and on with the next one.
Yep.
Looking at the stat sheet, the Broncos had 37% of possession.
Yeah.
Right? So just under 40. Smidge under 40. Teams have done worse.
Yeah, rarely, though, over 80 minutes.
Looking, though, at all of the errors, 12 errors to the Broncos, 10 errors to the Roosters, so that doesn't explain it. Missed tackles. Roosters 9. Mm-hmm. Broncos 37.
Yeah. Well, yeah, obviously.
And missed tackles.
Yeah.
Again, the Roosters were good, but they didn't have fucking 9 James Tedesco's out there that were just cutting people with fucking pure pace.
Yeah, that's right.
Missed tackles in this situation.
No, there was some.
Hard.
There was some absolutely fucking retarded shit out there, especially like on the Roosters left, Broncos right. I can't remember which try it was, but you saw the guy three guys in. I think it was Milford. He was sort of sliding, but then the guy to his right was jamming in, and it was just like they were falling over each other. There was no talk out there. In communication, in defense against a team where you've got to be on your fucking game anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're playing these guys,
Certainly do.
If you're going to be out there tripping over each other like Titans fucking retarded nephews, it was unbelievable. It was like Benny Hill theme shit, like that particular incident.
There was also fucking almost no improvement from the week prior in terms of how the Broncos played the ruck.
Yeah,
they were getting pinged. They were getting pinged late in the fucking tackle count, and they were getting pinged in their own fucking territory.
Yep.
You can almost forgive giving away one, letting a team come out of trouble. That
relieves... trying to man up for a set. And,
exactly. But this was just giving teams extra attacking power close to your fucking try line.
Yep.
And when your defense, like you just alluded to, is falling over each other, that's a fucking suicide note.
Yep. And look, who knows what the answer? I mean, I'm sure that they'll improve a degree when Fafita's back and Pingu's back for like the 3 weeks before he gets suspended next. But
again, this was going to be the thing on that Broncos side. When their forward pack is up and rolling, then that forward pack is enough of an engine that Milford can do a bit of Milford shit and whatever.
Yeah, something can be created off the back of it.
But what the fuck's Milford doing?
Well, same as he's been doing for like fucking 4 years.
Yeah.
Next to nothing.
Fucking nowhere.
And it's a lot of responsibility on Croft to come into a brand new club and be the captain instantly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I would personally would have maybe, I don't know, made the captain someone, take the fucking hit, make Lodge or someone, you know. I mean, you don't want to give it to Darius, I mean, because like obviously, but Milford, give it to fucking somebody, and fucking and just let Croft be the fucking halfback for a while, work into it, and then yeah.
Excuse me.
I don't know.
You're right. Like he wasn't even playing regular first grade in Melbourne.
No.
And all of a sudden he's the fucking
Let him
captain.
settle into a week in, week out role of a fucking halfback of a NRL side first, man.
Did fucking Harvard teach you nothing?
Well, I mean, does Harvard have extension courses of teaching people how to be captains?
Maybe all he did in Harvard was hang out with these fucking startup tech gurus that want to be fucking CEOs in a week.
Yeah, maybe.
That's what he thinks Croft wants.
Maybe. Hit some tweets.
Listener comments. Alexander in the Facebook group said, yeah, winning is cool, but we have more persons of colour, so win the more morally important equal rights battle.
Mate, well, versus the Roosters, though, I mean, I'm sure the competition would unveil far more.
Lexi in the Facebook group said, honestly, Wally, brackets, her small penis boyfriend, is jealous at how moist this game is getting me, not gonna lie. Josh said, okay, it actually looks like Kiri is the new Cronk, really steering them around. What a fucking brilliant first half. Daniel in Facebook said, small business owners in Minneapolis have shown better defense than the Broncos tonight. Jason in Facebook said, most experienced forward is 20 and only one half playing. Not sure what that touch judge with the number 6 is doing on the field all the time. Take 5 players out of any team and they'll be fucked. Some fairly low-flying excuses there. Cruzy said, I'm fucking confused as to how a team can play play 2 games good to now playing like a B-grade club team. Nicholas with a K says, last game I went to, Buck almost slipped on the surface while riding around the ground. If Buck slipped and had to be put down, it would be less horrific than watching this. New listener, Josh, at Josh58160674 on Twitter.
He's in Russia.
Said, I made a Twitter account just so there would be any hope of you guys reading this out on the podcast next week. Keep up the good work. And we did, Josh. Welcome aboard.
But he didn't actually...
Didn't say anything about the game.
Didn't actually say anything, though.
There you go. You got to fucking start. That's how piss poor the Broncos are. Even their fan comments leave room for fucking comments that aren't about the game.
Lovely. Thank you, sir. Welcome.
And we'll give the last say to JC, a.k.a. Solo Golfer in a Cart. I'm hardly a nutritionist, but perhaps for future games, the Broncos may want to have a rethink on that pre-game meal of Quaaludes, fried Mars bars, and pot brownies washed down with a bourbon smoothie.
At least for one more week, they can eat those.
That is a fucking scary interaction there.
Pub game. Penrith Panthers 26 defeat the Warriors 0 at Campbelltown. The Panthers double to Burton. Luai with a try. Mansour, Burns, and Crichton 3 of 5 conversions. Defeat the Warriors 0. Back to Tamworth with you.
Back to fucking Tamworth. Or as we call it, New Auckland. Because you're still shit.
Well, the worst thing they did, obviously, was relocating from Tamworth to like Central Coast or whatever the fuck they're...
Yes.
Newcastle or fucking Cessnock. I don't know.
Is that a bit closer to New Zealand?
Well,
like geographically?
I mean, it's geographically further east, so I'd say yes.
Yes, that is. Yes, correct.
Yeah. Because Tamworth is inland.
So they're a little bit closer to that collective fucking punish cloud that is their wives and girlfriends.
The land of the long white fucking nag.
They're like Superman when they get close to pieces of their fucking home planet. Lose all their fucking powers. Tell you what, very happy for young Burton.
Yeah, I mean, on one hand, he didn't get a chance to redeem himself by actually kicking. He should have kicked a disrespectful field goal.
True.
Like in a game where there was no pressure on.
Just fucking
just to bury that demon once and for all. But I mean, he got a couple of tries and played very well. So he got one back that way.
Yeah, he certainly did. In saying that though, Penrith had this unfortunate habit of looking fan-fucking-tastic for all but the last tackles of a set between them.
Which saved the Warriors to an extent.
It certainly did. Between them, Burton and Luai didn't take great fifth tackle options. Luai probably more so than Burton, just because he had more of that duty. And a lot of that you can put down to youth and some inexperience. But the concern I've got there moving forward is that it's long been a bugbear of mine with this team that they're always looking for an opportunity, not playing smart football and letting the opportunities present themselves to them.
Not earning opportunities, through structure and...
Well, not even through structure, but through pressure and...
structure in terms of their sets, as in the next set feeds into the, into a deep kick or into a corner.
That's it.
Which then the defensive set feeds into,
it.
Territorial win.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Exactly. Yep. So there was a couple of times where a repeat set or pinning the Warriors in a corner could have really changed the momentum of the game, and they didn't take those.
Especially in a game where some of their A-team returners weren't in the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Fucking Leota's space break when he got into open space. The pace on that guy for a fucking big man was absolutely phenomenal. And then the Warriors coming back and getting things like 2-6 again calls.
Yep.
Almost back to back, just driving up the field, and then when they're in a position to attack, just get so easily fucking bundled into touch.
And first play sort of thing too, just squandering everything they had.
They're back to Warriors. Don't want to ref's fault too much, but fuck me, Chechen seemed to be slow on his 6 again calls.
The consistency of application of the 6 again call is something that they're going to have to figure out. That's all I'll say.
I went back and looked at a bunch of sets
when
he called 6 again. So I was noticing I'd see the little fucking red square
thing up top,
on the TV. And after I'd seen that, you'd start to see the reaction on the players. In most of the other games, I can almost pick when the 6 again's coming because you see the change in the players. Like you see someone that was shaping to kick, or which is
because the way it works is the referee says it, and then the television they pick it up and
that's it.
Ring the bell or whatever.
That's it.
Yeah.
So it was an interesting.
I must admit, it is tougher watching games without volume this year. Or this new regime.
Yeah,
it's a lot. It is a lot tougher because you got to. Sometimes you're like, what the fuck, and then you say, oh yeah, there's a little thing.
Yeah, that's it. But in terms of bright spots for Penrith, fuck, Fish is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Fisher Harris's performance
career
that game,
year for him thus far.
And I am going to go so far as to say that he is the most versatile forward playing in the league at the moment.
The entire league.
In terms of, he can spend long stretches and hang out on an edge, or he can fucking play in the middle. You can put him at lock, or he can get in there and bash other props around. And I'm not sure there's anybody else that can do as well across the park for as long as he's doing it at the moment. So he's taken Isaiah Yeo's crown as the most underrated man in football.
With the whole thing to come crashing down when Cleary inserts himself into a winning combination.
Well, Luai's injured, so he's not inserting himself. He's pulled in.
Well, yeah. But, I mean, that was always the case, although maybe it would have been Burton that dropped out had the injury not happened to Luai. I mean, I feel like Burton's a much better option.
So do I.
I mean, you can joke about the field goals all you want, but I mean, Luai's almost been invisible, I feel.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
So, unfortunately, though, this is one of those wins that you hate, and especially when you're coming into a game that actually counts.
Yeah, exactly.
But
fucking Billy Burns. Fucking Radley Jr. I'm a fucking fan. Get on board the Burns Express.
Hit some tweets. I'm watching the clock. I'm gonna keep fucking tight ship on these things.
Ben on Facebook said, only just caught the replay after a weekend away trying to liquidate my liver. Well done, sir. Please, someone tell me Senor Chin will see the obvious and keep Burton at 6 and move Luai to 14 when the main Chin is back next week. Luai can squeeze his brilliance into 30 to 35 minutes. Absolutely true. At Fat Harry Lazy on Twitter said, Billy Burns ran such a good line, it gave Lockyer the sniffles. Ha 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 ha. Rishi in the Facebook group said, if only Romy hadn't fluffed a bunch of kicks in a hurry at the end of the game, he'd be fine, but I suspect he might be in the 14 next week. And how big was the fish? Fat Harry Lazy again, this time on Facebook, said, any tips to get rid of this erection? It started when Leota burst through the gap. He followed that up with, actually scratch that, Luai's kicking game got rid of it. Very fun. James on Facebook said, fuck everyone but Roger. Useless cunts. If Bill can still get a start in the NRL, then any cunt can make it. Josh said, just when I thought it might be the Yeary of the Tamweary Warrieries. Hashtag Aldi Jmoz. Opium Death Cult said, happy Birdo got his redemption story. 2 tries gives him confidence to continue to grow based on his ability. And the official Twitter of the Brisbane Firehawks at the Firehawks.
Obviously, we had a quick listener.
Well done. Nice logo.
I imagine that Brisbane Firehawks was already secured by the potential expansion crew.
Matt Burton would look great in a Firehawks jersey in 2022. Plenty of rat bags in Brisbane, Matt. Hashtag hurtin' for Burton.
I'm almost certain we know this person. And I'm sure that's going to be the theme of the tweets every week. It's going to be ex-player. Because, blah.
Correct.
All right, you done?
Yep.
The Melbourne Storm 22 defeated the South Sydney Rabbitohs 8 down at the Korean Housewife. Melbourne's 22 came through tries to Pappenhausen, Vunivalu, Fox, and Justin Olam. Smith, 2 of 4 conversions and a penalty goal. The Rabbitohs 8 tried AJ, a conversion to Adam Reynolds, and a penalty goal to Adam Reynolds. The final scoreline flatters the Storm somewhat. I mean, this was in the balance for quite a while.
Mm.
But
the Rabbits just didn't seem to have that knockout punch in them.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there were a couple of times where it was Latrell that pulled the trigger on the fuck up.
Yeah.
That stopped the run or that relieved the pressure. He had that absolutely wonderful cutout pass that he threw for, it was Johnson's try, I think. Yeah.
Yep.
The reality is, that's about the bare minimum expected for a fullback
these days. In 2020.
Yeah. Unless your name's Ponga, in which case you'll be fucking blown for...
No matter what you do.
if they cut you out. That's the way you held your hands down.
Yeah, it's...
That allowed the try to be scored.
It was so well left.
Yes.
They created the opportunity.
The things like when they're up and on the try line and he's gone to just float a pass over the top and it's just popped straight out the front of his hands. Mm-hmm. All of those little things that point to just the amount of fatigue he's under means he's underdone for the position. To the Storm's credit, I think they were obviously better than the prior week.
And it's also the Storm that you expect to see as well.
Yes.
It's a Storm that doesn't give a fuck.
Yep.
How long they're in like a grind.
Yes.
They'll pull away. They'll stay in it the entire time and pull away at the end.
Yes, that's it. Fairly even in terms of what the stats show. I think it was just a little bit more class in the Storm and a couple of key errors. And the fact that they had a couple of halves that they could go to, whereas South really just had Reynolds, who probably faded at the end of this game as well. In the beginning, was right in there and had a lot more involvement. But towards the end of the game, again, just couldn't find a way.
He can't do it all himself. So now we get to see next week what a difference maker.
Correct.
It's going to be to have another guy in there that can actually direct attack and be a focal point, and so he's not the sole target.
And again, the Storm, 32 missed tackles, 15 errors.
Mm-hmm.
That is a very un-Storm-like performance.
Yeah.
So whilst on the surface they're starting to get that feel about them again, they got a little way to go to get back to the Storm we know.
Hit me with some tweets.
Go to Facebook first, and Grover in our Facebook group said, glorious fucking rugby league. I have no more paprika left. His brother in fucking Gronk Lee says, Munster slayed them tonight. Back to his best. The best thing about this win is knocking that old grumpy cunt Wayne off his perch again. Fuck you, Wayne. Fuck you. You know how we used to say Jamie Lyon was the world's slowest fast man?
I say skinniest fat man.
Yeah.
Fattest skinny man.
Yeah, that's it. Is Cameron Munster the world's, or how do you say it? The world's weakest strong guy, or the world's strongest weak guy? Just for him to fucking keep running with cunts hanging off him, feet off the ground, should be dragging him down backwards, and he just keeps fucking moving.
Yeah,
I don't understand the fucking physics of it. Shane Aaron Elvis says, no team has worse hands in league than the Bunnies. For as long as I've supported, we've the worst dick fingers. Oof. At BigGav8 on Twitter said, Souths with Dargan at 5'8" gave no spark. Can't judge them until Walker back. Agreed.
Yeah, agree.
At TYB Jones 86, Jared Maxwell is continuing his 2019 Grand Final form, only this time in the bunker.
Yeah, listen. We'll get to the referees.
And at the Bunk 2099 said, Latrell is excellent in attack, but defensively, as a fullback, he's as effective as the Bangladeshi army defending a bridge from Tyler Rake. #extraction. Ooh, topical. That is a current motion picture currently showing on the Netflix.
That was about 6 weeks ago, but it's actually not bad though.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. Did you watch it?
Yes.
It's not too bad. The thing I liked about it the most, I mean, the action was really good, but the thing I liked about it the most was having an Aussie guy, like a super Aussie guy, being the mercenary. He's smacking a piss off and smacks that kid. Get out of the fucking way, you little cunt.
Yes.
That was the best part of it.
That's it.
It was commando extraordinaire, but the Aussiest bogan Aussie ever.
Righto. In the interest of time, I'm going to let you have your say on this next game.
Okay. The Mighty Manly Seagulls, 22. Garrett got the goal. Defeated the Eels 19. The Eels tries came through Jennings, Brown, and Evans. Moses 2 of 3 conversions, a penalty goal, and a field goal. Manly 16 came through a double to Jorge and tried to Dylan Walker. Garrick 1 of 3 conversions and a penalty goal. The thing that was most pleasing about this game was the press conference with Des. Holy fuck, he's a changed man. He's just over time he's just mellowed out.
Yes.
So, he would have been so fucking stroppy about this. Take it back to 2011 and, that period. Last time we see it, all the time it was the dogs or whatever. But he was actually laughing about it. And one of the journalists in the press conference said to him, so Graham Annesley's already come out and said that decision was wrong, and he's like, "Oh, was it really? Yeah, okay, cool." And then he just goes through the rest of the press conference, and then at the end he says something like, "Oh, to be down 18-2 with into the second half under this new system, and to come back and win the game, and then winks at them and everything, and he's having so love Desi's work. This was a good game. Two teams are obviously going to be up there. The Eels played pretty, pretty much to their capacity, I think. Particularly their kicking game was excellent. And it was also helped, I think, a little bit by. It just felt like Manly. They were a bit slow. The back three just seemed like they were a bit slow to get the kicks, but maybe that was just a feature of the quality placement of the kicks or something too. I mean, and just a little bit slow and things like that, and the possession, I mean, this game was set up to be a 36 to not much one of those games. I mean, the Eels had the first, I don't know how many fucking sets they had. They had, I think after 10 minutes, the possession was after 5 or 6 minutes, the possession was 99-1. And I don't even know how they got the 1, because the only time Manly had touched the ball in that period was, I think George, ripped the ball out or knocked the ball down, knocked the pass down, that was travelling, and somehow that gave us 1% possession out of the 100%. But and after 10 minutes, it was crazy. It was 93-7 or some crazy, unheard of shit. So it was very pleasing to see that the way they fought back, especially being down, probably the biggest margin a team's been down under this system so far, and to bring that back. and win. I mean, like the pass, I mean, is undisputedly. We've spoken about forward passes and shit before, and we've had our ideas on how to do it, and it's a difficult thing.
It's fucking not.
Well, it's
fucking not.
Well, I mean, obviously, because it's hard to do for the system to do it in such a way that they feel is not going to incur more backlash than now.
The only thing that's hard about it is that there's going to be a period of time where it'll need a change of technique, right? So what they need to do is you can have the fucking same things that are in your mobile phone. You know how when you pick your mobile phone up and turn it and the fucking screen turns around? Yep. That's it. You can have one of those in a ball. You can have markers on it tracking where it goes. All you need to do is measure the speed that the ball's going at, i.e. the speed that the player carrying it is going at.
Yep.
Then you can get as fucking minute as to measure
where it left, where it landed up.
That's
calculate based on the speed.
Exactly.
The physics of what would...
Exactly.
Yeah. And the thing... I was out in the backyard with the kid, and I was like, how can you actually... If you pass the ball backwards, like with your hands, like, as I say, backwards out of the hands.
Yep.
If you do that, it's impossible to throw it forward intentionally. Like the only thing that causes it is like, the physics of the, the momentum
that it's already
like
moved.
that. Yeah. But you can't actually throw a ball forward doing that. I fucking tried. I tried putting spin on it. So even that as a metric, look at the player's hands when he threw the ball.
Yeah.
Throwing a ball forward and throwing a ball flat and throwing a ball backwards are very visible, easy to see things. So even if that were the criteria, I don't fucking know. But
the fact that in this day and age, like I saw comments about a ball floated forward when a player's done a tap on.
Yeah.
Tap
ons. That's aim it and it goes the way it goes because it's not a passing motion, and it's also the play's kind of it's coming down vertically, but it's not moving forward at pace. Yeah, so there's no physics to sort of dictate the momentum.
But again, it's not hard. But what they would need to do is just calibrate an acceptable variance because it's exactly the same in the Olympics.
Yep.
There's a fucking margin of error in those starting blocks that says, well, people can't go faster than this. So even if the gun goes off and you technically take off after it...
Yeah, or you do beat it slightly or whatever.
You've actually gone early because you're not that fast.
Yeah.
They just need to take...
Like human reaction time versus
Well, they need to take sample groups of passing, of players running and passing backwards and going... Yeah. Fuck, do we pick that up as forwards?
Yeah.
Are we getting false positives?
Get Cameron Smith in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, if you want the variance...
Well, he's the control.
Yeah. He's the one that must always be marked forward.
Yeah, that's it.
And if it doesn't, the system's a fucking crock.
Yeah, again, it's not hard.
Yeah.
It might be expensive.
Yeah.
But it's far from hard.
Yeah. And I mean, on the actual game itself, I mean, there would be times when I would be, like, fucking furious. Like Jeff Tuvey, there needs to be an investigation level of furiousness. And I saw some fans online like that. I mean, honestly, you don't have to fucking refs fault the shit out of it. It's round 4 of the year. The team fucking showed amazing resilience, which are the sort of things that you can't coach into a team.
Again, all trolling aside, against a dead
against one of the other teams that say it's a top team.
That's it.
Parramatta know that they know that they won that game through the grace of a fortunate call at the end because there's no payback.
Look, there's also the fucking Dylan Walker try.
Yeah, but there's also Kane Evans. The ball spun out of his hands, dropped. I mean, that was the most egregious call of the game. I mean, it's literally they slow it down, and he's got his hands on the ball, and you see the ball just flying in a circular motion out of his hands. I mean, it was the most obvious drop I've ever fucking seen.
I don't know,
but
yeah, look, I think Desi's just realised where the benefit is. For him, it's far more fucking benefit to internalise than externalise.
Yeah.
He knows and he understands, probably better than most, who how social media works.
Yep.
And no matter what his blow up is, social media will do the blowing up for him.
Yeah.
Because there will be the Manly fans that are refs faulting, there'll be the neutrals that are refs faulting, then there'll be the Parramatta fans going, no, it was fucking...
No, Dylan Walker. And the Dylan Walker one was a still shot of the ball 10 centimetres off the ground. Show me his hand not on the ball on the ground. That's the thing. I mean, like, it doesn't matter where the ball is in the air like that. But if his hand's on it when he grounds it, it's a try.
But he's just realised that there's more
Right.
benefit to him to internalise that shit.
Yeah, but also just like I think like he knows and the team they know how the game went.
Yep.
Very early in the season, they're still in the 8 and they're still in a good position. And not only that, after that one game with Parramatta, they proved themselves against who's allegedly the best, with all the power of the narrative and everything behind them as well. But also we've got rid of Melbourne East Parramatta, and we got to turn around and play a couple of them again. But we got a lot of Dragons and Warriors and shit like that in our future as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I mean, we've been through in the first 4 games, we've been through a pretty difficult gauntlet in East, and still to find themselves in the 8 is great. The other thing, the one thing that he was annoyed at, and I'd agree, is it's the inconsistent application of the 6 again thing. I think they got triple, quadruple, that we got, and there are times where it's like. And then when we were mounting our comeback, obviously they were fading, and we still scored tries. But I mean, there were times there like where we're making breaks and guys are getting taken out, held down extra, after the breaks, and that shit would be instant penalty normally. Last year, instant penalty. This year, at minimum, like the 6 again thing. That's what it's there for.
Yep.
But they just weren't coming for us. So whether we have to milk it better or like play it up make it more obvious to the referees or do something, I don't know. But I think it'll just vary from referee to referee. But no, well done to Parramatta on remaining undefeated, and we got them again, and so and no doubt we'll
a revenge game.
I would like to say there might be a revenge game in the finals, but I think Parramatta will just do their usual and not quite
Peter out.
Be there at the end. The Sharkies,
Josh.
Sorry.
You don't want to give a fuck.
No, wait. Go for it. Everybody, go for it.
Oh,
I just forgot.
There's going to be a protest. You're trying to steal the voices of Parramatta supporters.
Fuck them idiots.
John in Facebook said, I'd usually gloat over a win against Manly, but you know what? Thank you, Manly. Thank you for forcing us to play to another level, for forcing us to make every tackle, for forcing us to be smart about kick selections, for forcing us to be mentally engaged for an entire 80 minutes for the first time in 2020, and for showing the quality that this squad truly possesses. Fantastic game. Heart-pounding and intense. We'll see each other again down the track.
What a great comment.
Back to our normal brand. Yeah. At Joshua. Think I came a little when they called that a forward pass. Fucking...
That's like, he's the type of guy that comes a little when his mate's girlfriend's fucking passed out drunk on the couch. You're like that movie Kids. He's like Casper.
Look who fucking pops his head out of the woodwork. At Cage Online.
Yeah, of course.
Just tweeted
Did he tweet the show, did he?
Hashtag Manly doesn't matter.
He did tweet me as well. I can't remember what I said, but eating a dick was part of it.
At H Dragons fan said, hey wankers, haven't written in for ages. I hate Manly. But fuck, they just got robbed. Touchy's ruling in black and white. Get a feel for the game. Out of the hands backwards and floated forwards, it's legal. It's a good pass, and the Eels got gifted 2 points. Go hard, Nate.
Go give him a follow as well. He's fucking. He's one of my barbecue inspirations.
The Black Glove Brigade.
What?
What? The Black Glove.
The Black Glove.
Brigade.
See a black glove, and I'm like, what the fuck? Where is this coming from?
Show support. At Bigger Rod. Bad call at the end, but that happens. Para played better throughout. There you go. We'll give the final word to at Paraman Mark II. Truth be told, those calls are always 50-50 call. We got the rub of the green this time. I agree, though. To me, the pass was not forward.
That's right. See, everyone knows. Everyone knows. The Sharkies finally got off the duck, defeating the Cowboys 26-16 up there at the bedpan. The Sharkies 26 had a double to Ramian, a double to Mulatalo, Britton Nakora with the other try, Johnson 3 of 5 conversions, and the Cowboys a double to Felt, Justin O'Neill with a try, and Val with 2 of 3 conversions.
A lot of fucking love in this game for old Ronaldo.
A lot of love in this game for Ramian too. Like, there's a lot of the, won the trade talk,
yes,
with him coming back from the Knights.
Yes, there was. Well, they weren't playing the Knights. So,
no.
A little bit fucking premature. Look, Ronaldo, obviously a fucking young talent.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously a young talent. There were a couple of times when I looked at what he was doing and I was a little bit concerned. Things like when kicks go back behind.
Yeah.
And he's not turning and chasing.
The thing I like young Ronaldo as well, but for me, and this is a symptom of what you've just said as well, I think that at this stage in his career, and it may be youth or it may just be who he is, I feel that he is extremely mentally fuckable.
Yes.
Like the way that he was blowing up last week, starting fights.
Yes.
Out there on the wing,
Yes.
and getting chippy. I think that you put him in up against someone that can just talk some mad shit, and I think you got him.
You look at the kid, and again, it's obvious that he's a talent.
Yeah.
The try he scored off the kick, even considering that the Cowboys defender had to turn and chase, but the fucking head start he gave up to run in and fucking collect that ball, like he is lightning fucking quick, Then you get situations where almost immediately after that, the Cowboys were hitting back. They've put a kick through. There was no one at home, and he's fucking jogging.
Yeah.
When teams are confident enough to put kicks through over your head, when you're that fucking fast, that doesn't
take that as a personal insult, and something with to fuel your effort. Yeah,
exactly. And that was his side. It was his man that came through, and fucking put the ball down, and he was nowhere to be seen. Absolutely nowhere to be seen. It was rough for both of the clubs. Look, maybe not having Chad isn't too rough.
Well, I mean, it's no surprise that the Sharks got their first win of the season, right?
Considering who fucking let Noffa through for a try the week before. But no Fafita, no Chad, but the Cowboys without JT or Hess. I don't understand why the Sharks are playing away from a very simple style of football. The roll on that they can conceivably get through the middle, and then a spread to Graham on an edge.
Yeah,
they could be fucking anything because that play.
Well, and if they're going to get, anytime Dugan can take the field as well.
Yeah,
I mean, it's proven that him and Wade are just fucking amazing together.
Exactly.
Because Dugan, despite his reputation, I mean, like deserved reputation for being brittle and injury prone and the rest of it, when he's on the field and the reason why he gets injured so much is because he is one of those guys that throws his entire fucking body through a line.
Yeah.
And and when that's getting fed off some like a little short ball of Wade who's already got him going backwards.
Exactly.
It's a try every time.
So the potential there. But the Sharks were really doing a couple of effort things better, I feel. Things like numbers around kicks. Whenever there was a kick in the air, no matter where it went, the Sharks had 3 or 4 guys there ready to pick up crumbs. The Cowboys just didn't show the same intensity. Although then you get Sharks doing sharky things like Johnson not finding touch that almost made it very fucking interesting down the end. I'm not at all convinced by the Sharks that they're a team to be taken seriously this year yet. But
Cowboys not really liking their new stadium that much either.
No, not exactly a fortress.
No. Hit some tweets.
Will do. Oh, that was the fucking Raiders. Matt in Facebook said, it's like being labelled easy beats for St. George was all the motivation Sharks needed to not play shit. I would argue the point that they did not play shit. I would contest that point. I think they were still shit. Ben Dunn in Facebook said, Jesse Ramey had dominated North Queensland so hard that hashtag Cowboys Lives Matter should trend worldwide. Ouch. Carsten,
settle down.
Over in fucking Scanda Europa, or wherever the fuck you live. Shoemakers in Townsville must earn millions today with so many feet for hands. Mitch in the Facebook group said, Valentine who? All hail Ronaldo. Surely the greatest athlete to be christened with that unique name. I don't have time to Google it, but also why bother? Special K Online said this game was sloppier than Holmes gaping a noose defense after years of being pumped by me. As soon as pressure hit the door, the Cowboys collapsed into a rosebud. A win years in the making.
Was that it?
That's it.
Knights 34 defeated the Raiders 18 at Campbelltown, and the Knights 34 came to a double to Bradman Best. Ponga, TWiL, a double to Lee. With tries, and what do we got there? We got 4 or 5 conversions to Ponga and 1 to Tex Hoy. The Raiders 18 tries to White and Kotrick and Papali, 3 of 3 conversions for Croker.
Tell you what, Knights fans, if you want to start the fucking coal burners on a hype train,
yes, I'm glad you mentioned this because it's exactly where I was going as well.
Do it on someone semi-deserving of fucking hype.
No. Don't say thoroughly deserving of hype.
Oh, 1 game.
2. He fucked your ass as well.
Not at all. Didn't win.
He scored 2 tries or scored 1, set 1.
In a fucking non-match winning performance.
Also, he threw the pass for the winning try and Dick Hands fucking...
Yeah, that is true.
Big Dick Rick couldn't catch it.
You know, have a fucking Bradman Best hype machine.
What a fucking weapon down the left he is. Like, he is a weapon. He's such a weapon. He makes fucking Callum Ponga look like a fucking gel blaster by comparison.
Yes, 100% he does.
Looks exactly like a weapon, but then you see the real one that shoots bullets.
But children giggle when he hits them. Fuck, he was massive. Oh. Absolutely fucking massive for the Knights.
I can't wait till Manly sign him. I love him, which is just such a unusual thing to say for someone wearing this disgusting red of the.
I've got nothing against the Knights. I think they did a fucking stellar job through the 90s, and I will always applaud their fucking Manly curb stomping policy. But for them to get out to a fast start like that, they're a completely different football side, and you can see what Pearce means to them.
Yep.
And why he shouldn't try and tackle with his face in the first 30 seconds of a game.
Yes.
That would be a good choice for him. On Canberra's side, poor fucking Nickel Clogstad.
He just had a mare. Yeah. Especially in the first, 20 whatever minutes.
That's it. And was good enough that sort of stuff. Like, he put the first 2 bombs down cold.
Yeah, yep.
Cold. A tiny bit of pressure, but fucking dropped them. You'd forgive him getting the fucking yips for the rest of the game for that. And didn't really let it get to him. So I was impressed with his fucking resilience there. Whiten just seemed to be a little bit out of sorts as well.
Yeah.
Like, back from that fucking calculating absolute weapon of a running 6 that he was through the end of last year and at the beginning of this season. And back to that fucking, I'll just boot it out on the full or fucking drop it cold.
I mean, when he does run it, he still looks pretty good.
Oh, he certainly does.
But he's just not, it's just not coming off though either.
That's it. Yeah. And the Knights just seem to be in full control of tempo.
Yeah, and I think you say what you will about the attack of the Raiders side. I think there'd be massive concerns about how easily the Knights were allowed to amass 34 points against them. And like, they did make it look easy. It wasn't. There were no cheap tries.
Yeah.
Or like barge overs.
Yeah,
And they were all, at least is what I can remember. I mean, they're all, beautifully constructed, earned tries.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's it.
But fucking not good enough, Raiders.
No, not at all. And the last thing you want is these cunts to get that fucking faders mentality again. I know we joke about it.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how many would be there from those sides. Like, Croker's still there. Papali was in the faders. Whiten was definitely in the faders.
A lot of them were, because remember, they had the faders year before last year when they were.
Then it was the grand final year.
Yeah. So I reckon there's a ton of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nasty. Sam in the Facebook group said, "Fuck the Yuri of Cleary. # bring on. # Yuri of Piercy. # best hype train. # credit where credit's due. fucking where credit's not due is your
Your
fucking
hashtag
hashtags. Because Yuri of Cleary is a thing because it rhymes.
Yeah.
You know, as is hashtag Spurton for Burton. So, you know, try hashtag my younger sister got felt up on a golf course. Maybe. I don't know. And that's your fucking shit, number 7. Danny in the Facebook group said, Bradman, simply the best and not referring to the cricketer. Of course you're not fucking referring to the cricketer. Is there anything fucking creative about you Newcastle cunts?
Yeah, if you want to say something about his name in relation to Don, what you would say is you would co-opt the tweet or the Facebook comment, I believe it was from Mitch in the Cronulla game, and you would say, he is certainly
the greatest
person with the
Bradman
name. You know, yeah, something like that.
Fucking hell.
Do we have to even teach you how to tweet?
I worry for the fucking future generation. You imagine the tweets of the future generation?
Yeah.
If they're getting this shit through osmosis? Fuck me. John on Facebook said, that's the Raiders I know and love. For a minute, I thought we were genuine contenders. Hashtag limp dick energy. There you
round
go.
4, dude.
Yeah, but there's a Raiders fan with a better fucking hashtag.
Yeah.
Because pretty much that's what the Raiders had.
Yep.
Nigel on Facebook. Curtis Scott to his barber. I don't think I'm looking grubby enough. What can you do for me? Barber, hold my comb while I get the clippers. One scumbag mullet coming up. Fair enough. Michael in Facebook said, Bradman, best is a gun. Fuck Ponga, I'm on the best hype train. Ben, Facebook. Raiders playing for their massive effort last week. They looked lethargic. They certainly did. Rick, with maybe the best fucking Newcastle tweet of the round. Suck my Valhalla flavoured Ponga. Eddie.
You see they had the recorded Viking clap?
Jeez, I put something out on Twitter about that.
It's like it was a recording, and they couldn't they get one from fucking Iceland soccer team or something?
Surely that wasn't live though. Like that wasn't a stream or a feed, was it?
It's just what they played over the thing, wasn't it? Like it wasn't over the PA?
I'm talking about the visuals.
Oh, because
there were fucking visuals.
No, I didn't see the visuals. Sorry.
And the only thing that could excuse that is that half of the people were on fucking ADSL 1 and half of the people were on uber fast 5G fucking...
But I mean... But I know you're being very generous in saying, oh, surely it was like lag issues or...
But this is what I'm going to say. If you have that and you know that shit's coming, fucking have something that you've edited.
Yeah. And
cut it so they all fucking clap at the same time.
Conversely, here's another theory that I'd like to put to you, sir. We've seen upwards of 10 plus games in Canberra each season for the past couple of years when they've been doing the Viking clap.
Yes.
Have you, at any of these times, seen the crowd execute it flawlessly in unison with the clap?
Not even close to flawless.
So it wasn't anything to do with fucking ping time.
No, but this is worse. Yeah. This was so much worse that I wondered if all they did...
Regular Raiders plus lag then.
No, I actually wondered if what they had done was put fucking webcams in old folks' homes and just gotten people stroking out their last final sessions of fucking life and they're not clapping, they're desperately clawing for the fucking help button so a nurse can come and give them CPR and put the Viking clap sound to those visuals.
It's possible.
That's what that looked like. Fucking hell, Raiders fans. Eddie said, unfortunately for everybody, Ponga was actually deserving of at least 15% of the compliments, which is a pretty good game. Yeah. He did. He had a very, very good game.
Oh, fuck. I'll bump him up 25. I'm feeling generous.
Old Sharky Dave said, actually an enjoyable game to watch. Still not sure how the comms can talk with Ponga's tackle tickling their tonsils.
Ooh, alliteration. That's another tool you could use in your hashtags, people.
Yes. At MMOzzy said, a real 2014 Raiders first half. Pierce's kicking game sealed the deal. That is an apt summary, sir.
Okay, the Gold Coast Titans, 28, won their first game in a year over the West Tigers, 23.
Yes.
At Suncorp Stadium.
They fucking did.
In front of a ground record for the Titans.
Yes.
And they had tries. Their 28 came from tries to Proctor, Don, Hipgrave, Kelly, and Sammy.
Mm-hmm.
Ash Taylor, 4 of 5 conversions. The West Tigers, 23 came from tries to Dewey, a double to Nofaluma, and BJ Leilua with a try.
Mm.
Benji, 3 of 4 conversions and a field goal.
Mm.
Well, how the turns table.
The end result of this one is probably less flattering to the Tigers when you take into account that for the first 10 minutes, at 10 minutes, they were beating the clock.
Yeah.
You know? And for a team to get out to that sort of start against this Titans...
In this current 6-again regime where it has historically been proven via every other game...
that a fast start wins you the game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And especially with a team... You know, you're talking about a team that's coming up to a year without a win, so they're more mentally fragile than they...
Belief at an all-time low.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're losing games. None of that has the spectre of a year without a win that this game did for the Titans. And what a way to get in there and potentially head fuck them. It was almost the perfect start for the Tigers.
Yeah. And it was looking super ominous.
It certainly was. From there were, you know, obviously things that the Tigers did wrong, but there was also a lot that the Titans did right.
They just settled the fuck down and got through their sets. The biggest problem with the Titans is they can't defend and they make too many fucking mistakes and don't have enough ball to actually construct anything. Yeah. And then when they do have it, they've had this rotating carousel of fucking halves and potential halves that none of whom have worked out.
Yeah.
When they've got they've got the functional spine of Alex McKinnon, and you know that's been the story. But this time they completed sets.
Yes,
actually tried to get a grasp on this 6-again thing that if you complete sets, complete tackle, bounce up, you can actually generate this seldom fucking seen thing in Rabina called momentum, and that turns to fatigue for the other side, opportunities in attack opening up, and fuck me, they finally. It took a long time. It took till about 65th minute, like before the Tigers iced it in quotes. There was already we're like, oh fuck yeah, okay, this is how the game of rugby league is played.
Yep, that's it.
We remember now.
But even things like in their defence, and credit where it's due, and you know that I'll always give credit where it's due. Fucking Brycey had, whilst not capturing his brilliant form at Penrith that got him to the level of hype that he attained.
His brilliant form that cost him 50 Gs. Penetrating best. That's it.
Was much better in defence. And
in defence he was. In attack I thought he was a fucking liability. Like the ball seemed to die with him a lot. Yeah. Like he was trying to kick out. And he's not a kick out.
Yeah, but you remember that was the Bryce move. The Bryce move was the draw to two defenders and the offload around the back, like hooking it, getting one arm free and hooking it right around.
But this time he was just trying to bash through, like 5 meters out.
But for him to just not be such a fucking turnstile anymore proves that at least the placebo effect is real. Like if he hasn't had his fucking boosters. It means that him being around cunts that actually do has fooled his fucking immune system into thinking that he is a functioning human being.
Well, it's basically...
thus allowing him to perform.
It's a microcosm of the herd immunity in effect.
Yes.
The rest of them have it, thereby defending him. But I give credit. I mean, I gave some shit to Holbrook last week about just like the wholesale changes. You know, like 7 changes a week. You know, just keep fucking cycling guys out. You know what? I think he might actually be able to coach, and I think a sign of that is an improvement in defence. And if you can get a defensive line together that has a Bryce Cartwright, and not be exposed repeatedly for the full 80 minutes. Then maybe fucking, I don't know, at least something's happening there that he may be able to build towards.
Yeah. And again, you know, the Titans have, and we're different from other sports in that this whole thing of getting a club player to build a club around very often ends fucking poorly.
Yeah.
But fuck me, Anthony Don is a club man.
Yeah.
He's the guy who took a pay cut to stay at the Titans to repay the faith that the the club has shown.
When he didn't have to repay shit because he was their best fucking player anyway.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
And in terms of what a modern day winger should be able to do, the cunt's fucking huge. He can jump really fucking high.
Yep.
And he's got hands that look like they sweat super glue.
Yep.
Name me a fucking club. Like, I would murder Mansour. If there was a sniff of us being able to fucking afford him,
Yeah.
like, I would go to Josh's house and fucking poke his eyes out with my thumbs like I was the mountain on Game of Thrones.
Just to ship Don in.
Just to get somebody that's not a fucking overrated, broken-faced hobbit. Hey, Joshua was pretty good under a couple of high balls.
He
on
was
the weekend,
alright. Yeah, I was
so
going to say, I thought he's been alright this
Yeah.
year, especially after the Kobe break.
he's been a bit better. So
And a couple of weeks ago, when the news was coming out that like young Tonomapea would be getting a trial and tryout sort of thing with the Titans.
what a fucking difference.
And I said at the time, why is he trialing anything? If the Titans are renowned for throwing 5-year contract. Give him a fucking 5-year contract straight up because he's the best player in the entire club.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to trial to go in that. He's the best player. You've
Give
got.
him the fucking key to the back door of Melba's and welcome him to the fucking club.
I was like mate of ours, like Sharky Dave. He was saying, we were chatting about it, and he's like, yeah, he's like, this is a player that fucking he did the Mormon thing or whatever.
Yeah.
This is the player that Bellamy didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
If he doesn't want to play to leave the Storm, that's a fucking dead giveaway right there. He's a player of substance.
Yeah.
And he was fucking massive.
Wasn't he just? And, for a team where the hooking role has been such a point of contention and they've just had so many fucking disappointments there.
Yep.
Good signs for the Titans coming out of it.
Tigers though.
Fucking Tigers.
All through the week on social media, the Tigers fans were always like, this is one of those games that the Tigers will lose.
Yeah.
And then there was like the whole year without the win thing and all these things coming into effect. And then the games pan out on the weekend in such a way that if the Tigers go into this game, if they lose this game,
they end up ninth.
They'll be ninth.
Oh.
I mean, tell me there aren't rugby league gods. Honestly. Tell me that certain things aren't preordained.
Yep.
In this game of ours. And the Titans were so deadly. They let them back into it. And then they actually pulled away.
Yeah.
And kind of iced the game. A field goal with nothing left. They iced the win. The Titans got close. They did amazingly well. They had a crack at field goal. Fucked it. And then the Titans also at 22-0, remember? 22-all, sorry. The Titans had a couple of sets where they should have fucking set up for field goals and didn't.
Yeah.
And they had like super easy chances where play the balls are happening 5 meters out and just stand right in the fucking middle of Ash and pot it.
Yeah,
and it's there.
And like Ash Taylor, like say what you want about him, he's not the sort of guy that's gonna shirk from taking a fucking field goal.
Yeah,
and he can kick them.
And when he's kicking it from like 20 meters out too, I mean, of course, they didn't do it. So the Tigers roll down. Benji gets a fucking cracking field goal. Has to be said.
It was vintage fucking crafty veteran Marshall.
And it was like what? There was like probably like a minute or 50 seconds left by the time they actually got they get the ball in the tee. They go for the predictable. They're trying
short kickoff,
and the short kickoff was fucking abysmal.
Yes,
went 5 meters and then bounced and then somehow
broke the plane.
Broke the plane, and then it was game on. Then you knew it was gonna happen.
That's it.
And for it to happen the way it did.
It's fucking spectacular.
It was spectacular. And so congratulations to our long-suffering Titans supporting listeners. And enjoy that one. Because it was a great... Like, I love... It was like a win after not winning for a year is fantastic.
Yes.
I don't know what that feels like, but I'm sure it feels pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Like a premiership or something.
Yeah.
But to do it against it... But to do it as a listener of this show... With the meme value around it being the Tigers and the ninth and everything like that, it's just like one of these special fucking planetary alignment things that you've just got to enjoy.
That's it. First comment on this one goes to Shunter in the Facebook group. Said, remember the good old Penrith Junior hype machine days? Robert Jennings was hyped up as being even better than Michael. At the same time, Michael was an Origin Kangaroo rep player. That is very true. And I think that was just one of those fucking things that Tigers fans did to make themselves think that they were relevant in any way, shape or form compared to Penrith. Yep. They've always been Aldi Penrith. They always will be Aldi Penrith. And I hope you enjoy Justin Pascoe and what he's doing to your club, such as sacking Benji Marshall, because 100% that was his decision. Fuck him. Fuck them as a staff, record label, as a motherfucking crew. Biggest Tiger. Lest we forget, in the midst of 1,000 ninth memes, we scored the try of the year.
I don't remember a thing about it.
Not at all.
Which one was that? It wasn't one of Nofaluma ones. He couldn't score a try of the year.
Jordan said, Robert Jennings couldn't catch a disease in a Chinese wet market. Other Jordan, what the fuck's with this influx of Jordai?
I don't know. When they're the same ages or whatever, our names sort of cycle through in popularity.
True. This is a two-parter. Said, has someone checked on real dad Glenn? Make sure he's okay. I feel like someone should. And Glenn came back and said, why would I not be just fine? On another note, you know what rhymes with just fine? Matt in the Facebook group said, when the Leilua brothers are your big off-season signings, you're going to lose a few games like this. Liam said, I'm out. Supporting these cardboard cutouts pretending to be an NRL team is too much of an emotional investment. John said, Titans 1, Big Farmers 0. There you go. And last word on this one goes to fucking super listener at Hammers. Says, you can have your grand finals. Just give me last ditch round 4 victories against the Tigers. Aww.
And it was good to catch up with Hammers on Saturday too.
Fucking great. We had a little mini meet-up.
A little mini feed of barbecue, and it was fantastic.
Fucking oath it was.
And it's good to see things starting to open up again. So you can actually go out and have a feed and a beer with the boys. Next up, the Doggies, 22, defeat the Dragons, 2 at Wankbest Stadium Monday afternoon. Doggies tries to Elliott, Meaney and Remus Smith. Meaney 3 of 3 conversions and a couple of penalty goals. The Dragons. First points of the match, wasn't it? Zach Lomax with the penalty goal. First thing, congratulations, Doggies.
Yes.
You have proven that you were not in the same depths of the Dragons. I mean, this was a very, very early dress rehearsal for Spoonerpalooza. And while I feel like the Sharks clawed themselves out of that bracket as well, I feel there's a tier. The Dragons at this point are a tier unto themselves.
Yeah, going
they
into
are last
this,
place Spoon team.
If you'd have said who's primo for the Spoon, I would have said it's a 3-horse race between the Titans, the Dogs, and the Dragons.
Yep.
The Dogs, though, always felt like they had more of a chance to get out of it.
And they have shown a propensity to put on a bit of a late season flurry to escape out of danger.
It was the Dragons put on a fucking 5-minute effort. We thought, okay, there you go. There's some intent in the runs there.
Yeah.
They might mean what they're here to do. I think it was a good move as well, putting DWZ back out on the wing.
Great move, because I mean, how much better is Hopper Jr. just at that modern day playmaking fullback stuff?
That's it.
And the opportunities that he was part of creating in that game, they weren't even fucking utilized. I mean, the amount of times when they had the right hand side of the field just wide open, just waiting to throw it out,
gaped.
And they just didn't get the pass there or whatever, for whatever reason. But you know what? This is week 1 of it. If they keep working on that, then they're actually going to have some options out wide.
Now, this is the thing with DWZ. You've always got to be fucking wary of a winger or a centre that leaves somewhere and says they want to play fullback. You've got a situation where that's happened for South Sydney, and the reason that player couldn't get the fullback spot was because the number 1 fullback in the world currently had that spot at his club. So he went elsewhere, and even he hasn't gone in and made a success. Yep. DWZ wanted to play fullback, wasn't playing fullback, went in and he had his 3 or 4 games where he was brilliant because he had a point to prove. But his position is on the wing.
And this is the thing, you can get all of the best things that DWZ does.
Yeah.
Like bringing the ball back from kicks and things
and
like that.
And just running at fucking breakneck speed into brick walls.
And he can do that from the wing.
Mm-hmm. Certainly can.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kieran Foran. I'll tell you, if his body was fucking right, he'd still be a weapon.
Yeah.
I mean, the early direction in attack of the Dogs was 100% off everything he did.
Yes.
The only problem is, I mean, and if he can stay injury free, he'll be fucking great for them this year.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's not just injuries that are the problem. It's like he was fucked.
Yeah.
You could see that he was just sucking the big ones in and like after 20 minutes.
The fatigue mistakes.
Yeah.
Didn't help them.
Yep.
But still, his fucking
once he gets his cardio back, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. The Dragons folded emotionally so fucking quickly in this one. Like, there was a stage where there was a bomb put up and it was Lomax was going through to chase and there was a contest in the air and then the ball spilled out. All of the Dragons players just fucking stopped. Like, you look at those really successful teams and in that situation, play the fucking whistle. Like, everybody run through because all you need in that situation is for the ref to send it up a try, for there to be some fucking elbow obscuring the point of contact with the ball, and all of a sudden there's not enough fucking thing to overturn. That's your best case scenario. But it just was okay. As soon as it didn't come off, they're falling flat.
But in conceding tries as well, you can see there's no talk behind the line.
Yeah.
There's I saw there was a defensive thing where like it was like Ben Hunt was just like, you used to see he had the shits with was it Lomax, I think.
Yeah.
And things like that spilling onto the field.
Yeah.
Pretty much they all play out the way that
So
Hadley said.
I wonder out of Hunt and Lomax, which one doesn't like rape and which one thinks it's okay?
Can't speak for Lomax, but he's a younger, potentially rugby league dickhead, more of a player. I can't speak for Ben Hunt, but I've met Ben Hunt and he seemed
and he didn't rape you.
He didn't rape me.
Okay.
Didn't rape anyone around me.
Okay.
Didn't even give off a rapey vibe. Seemed like a super nice guy.
Give you a business card that said rapeisok.com?
No, and he didn't offer me drugs for sex or anything like that might culminate in being raped.
Okay, so I think it's pretty conclusive. Lomax is a rapist.
Here's some tweets. Congratulations, doggies. You're still a pub side, but not as much so.
Yeah, I tell you what. One thing is, as improved as that was, fuck, Lachlan Lewis has got some work to do.
Yeah,
he's so far from a fucking decent first class half. James in the Facebook group said, even reaching for the Mars bars has become as predictable and mundane as that clusterfuck of a club called the Dragons. Hashtag you deserve Mary. Hashtag fuck the Dragons. Hashtag Geary of Cleary. Fucking well done, James. I like the cut of your jib.
And, if Mars bars are too mundane, I mean, it's long established that Toblerone's the next step.
Yeah. You can even make that fucking xylophone noise as you put them up. Gary said, haven't seen the Dragons go this fast backwards since Ben Cray was in the team. Ha 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 ha. Jason said, surely the Dragons are the only team to run for 2,000 metres and yet lose the game by 20 points. You could probably back that up. On an interesting note, this year with this 6 again rule, we're probably going to have to re-look at all of those comparisons. Just because the ball's in play for longer and there seem to be more actual sets per game.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean the same as it did mean, if it happened last year, for example.
And if the NRL was as stats heavy as other, sports like NBA, all you would need to then do is just average out, say, meters per set.
Yeah.
And then
I'm sure they'll
do that with sets per game.
I'm sure there'll be places doing it.
Yeah. Mark in the Facebook said, in all seriousness, I don't know how to fix this mob. Even the new outside voice of a successful coach in Flanagan is not having an impact. Bring up the entire Cutters squad, maybe. To my mind, given the position they are, There was not enough dummy spitting, passion showing at halftime, all just sitting down circle jerking. I would have been snapping those shitty plastic chairs left, right, and centre. Lachlan in the Facebook group said, I laughed and I laughed and I laughed. Then I saw the James Graham interview and felt fucking terrible for the bloke. I will say at least a coach and a senior player confront the difficult question straight away. I'd feel prouder as a Dragons fan than a Bronco, to be honest. At GT351_Johns, oh, he's back. Says, that was nerve-wracking.
Of course he's back.
Even with 5 minutes to go, I was still not confident. Oh well, great to get a win. Well done, doggies. Now let's get COVID back and cancel the NRL before we play the Chooks. And a fucking good old stepdad fuck up here. Somebody sent in a wonderful visual meme with a GST sign replaced with the words gaped sphincter team. And I've cut their name out of the tweet when I've pasted it, so you know who you are. Fucking you
poke your head up and
yeah,
claim responsibility.
That's it.
I thought we would have been better. Yeah, even just gaped Saints team would have been.
Yeah,
so gaped St George team would have worked. Yeah, just as well. But I do love bastardizations of that shitty fucking song.
Yes,
because it is one of the worst.
Yes.
Next, do giggity next. That's it.
What? Can we just get that guy cancelled because that character objectifies women and is a misogynist? Yeah, so can we not just get that guy fucking cancelled?
So he should be cancelled to the extent that he's not allowed to gain entry to rugby league games.
Oh, I was thinking we'd lynch him.
Oh, okay. Isn't he Asian? I feel like there's some racial problems with lynching someone who's not white.
No, but we're lynching.
More than just the legal problems of lynching or, hanging anybody by their neck till they're dead.
Fine.
Imagine if he was that guy from that video, like taking the poo in the. Previews. Okay, let's go. First up, fucking short turnaround. Mighty Manly Seagulls take on the Brisbane Broncos at the Central Coast.
Well, it's not a short turnaround because you're actually not playing for another 7 days after this one. This is a training run.
Well, it's a short turn. It's 4 days fucking turnaround for our game.
No, it's not a game. You're training.
That's what I'm saying. This is a training run.
Yes.
When do we play next week? It might be 14, 15 days at the end of
that's it.
All
so
said and
you,
done. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Point taken.
Yeah, you don't play till Sunday next week.
Oh, fucking nice.
So you got fucking ages.
Nice. Tight. Okay, so the Manly side unchanged according to this the Tuesday list, but I saw on Twitter tonight that Jorge is out, as is Ciro. I am absolutely gutted for Ciro because with Corey Oates allegedly starting in the second row for the Broncos, a left side Broncos with Corey Oates and Milford and Darius Boyd, Ciro would be absolute. Fuck. He's probably had to withdraw through fucking dehydration from coming so hard at the prospect. So it'll be down to Sully to absolutely molest Darius Boyd. You want to talk? Motherfuckers want to talk about being Earthside. He's going to get fucking planted by Sully. What else is going on at the Broncos here? Let me have a look here. Okay, so Xavier Coates comes onto the wing. They got rid of Jesse Arthurs. So Tony Staggs comes back in from suspension in the centres, and he's a defensive genius as we've seen. So I expect at least a double to Hank Scorpio. I don't know who Manly are going to bring in. I mean, well, when you look at the Tuesday 21, you've got the ever versatile Brendan Elliott there, but Tavita Funa, who's a centre, but he's been waiting in the wings for a long fucking time for his turn. So I wonder if they might bring him in. And I'd say, there you go, Jetski in 19. He'll come in and replace Ciro. And he's done a great job too. I mean, he'll run off the short balls from Cherry just the same as Ciro does. So all good in the hood there. Jamil Hopewate and Ethan Bullimore have been dropped to the reserves. Still no movement in terms of the David Fafita and Pingu returns. They're not in the 21, so I guess they're not in the game. See Dearden in 20. Did you see that Dearden is looking like he might be leaving the Broncos? And there's a scramble on led allegedly by the Melbourne Storm for his services.
Yeah.
So I guess he is still considered to be the future player that he was said to be.
Yep.
If the Storm, because the Storm don't generally buy up undeserved hype.
They don't buy hype. They buy potential.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a vast fucking difference.
Yeah. It's just funny though. The Broncos they lose Hunt.
Yes.
They flick Nicarima because Dearden's the next one.
Yep.
They install Brodie Croft over the top of him.
Yeah.
And now he's looking like that. And they still love him and see him as a player of the future. Probably the future 1 year into the future when Milford gets the flick.
Yeah.
But yeah. Allegedly will be leaving them. Look, this is there are so many variables in this game. I feel like Manly and they're not going to be either up or down after the game. They know how the game went. They'll take a lot from the way they came back in that game and showed their resilience. And there's just a general baseline of excellence that they're delivering at the moment. Broncos, on the other hand, just copped the biggest fucking ass whipping in the history of the club. So there is, whether it's a dead cat bounce or not, there is a certain sort of hurt pride kind of rebound that happens from games like these.
I think the first 20 minutes of this game will be telling. Because as their coach has fucking pointed to whenever he tries to put an excuse out for why they're so shit, this is a young side.
Yep. And
if Manly can get a couple of early tries, then I think the floodgates open.
Can have a crack at the big 6-0.
What's going to happen then is you're going to get Lodge doing his fucking tonight you die grub shit, start giving away penalties. Corey Oates starts fucking missing Wayne Bennett, thinking back to all those times that he begged Wayne to play him in the second row and Wayne said fucking no.
And you know what? Wayne's not a stupid man.
Yeah.
Corey Oates out there having a holiday on the wing would make 10 tackles a fucking match.
Yeah.
If that.
Yeah.
And when he does, they're just like one-on-one sort of thing.
And he's got a sideline to fucking help him.
And he's got a sideline. Exactly. I'd be happier if Ciro was there, but even if it's Jet Ski or whoever they start with, Corey Oates is going to have to make 20 tackles in the first fucking 20 minutes. Like, he is going to be absolutely fucked. And who do they replace him with when he gets tired? Ben Teo, who hasn't played rugby league for about 5 years.
And who's come back and he's the captain now.
He's coming straight back inside. Look, he was a solid fucking back rower.
Certainly was.
I'm not gonna say anything about Ben Teo's last stint in rugby, but it was a long time ago, and I feel like he might be exposed for fitness as well. And in a game that has fundamentally changed in the last fortnight to the point where fitness is become even more so. I mean, even more of a factor than it's ever been. That sort of shit in a team that has troubles defensively already is just terrible. I mean, it's a nervous game for me because I mean, like it'd be super fucking embarrassing if the Broncos jumped them, which it's happened in the past. And if they get a great start, who knows? I don't feel like they could ever hang with them for 80 minutes. But I'd hate us to be like take the bait and just play this fucking disgusting Monday Night Football-esque shit fest where everyone's just dropping it and it's just a clusterfuck of a game.
Yep.
I'd like to think that Desi will have the boys up for it and have their heads switched on. They've got a job to do, and the job is to mercilessly fucking destroy this club and maybe even get rid of Seabold if they can do the job enough. I mean, Broncos are a club that they're not short of money, so a payout's not an issue.
That's it.
Succession plan is probably not in place. I wonder how much rope Seabold has.
I think he has exactly as much rope as White has pride in the fact that it was allegedly him who orchestrated the exit of Bennett. And
did you see the thing from Kevin Walters today?
No.
Apparently he went in for his interview for the Broncos job.
Yeah.
Laid out, the 3-year, plan and everything like that. And had a handshake agreement that he'd get the job. And then they've gone and grabbed Seabold around the back.
Fuck.
And he's he's saying, look, and I can't remember what he said. I think he said like he laid out the pathway of what he saw how the side would go, and the quote was, and I'll butcher it, but paraphrasing, he said, I don't know, I had the pathway laid out, and I'm not sure what Seabold's doing, but it's on there on a bush path somewhere way off the track.
Hell. Yeah.
Way off the road map.
Look, I felt for Kevy. I heard the story at the time that he went in and as part of that, because that was well known that he did that he had a proper fucking plan laid out. Even with marketing slogans.
As a Broncos lifer guy,
Yeah, that's it. But with community fucking plans to get people invested in the club again and this. And they ended up using his marketing slogans.
Oh, really?
Like, they fucked him off and said, no, you're not getting the job. We've got another guy coming up from Souths.
Yeah.
But they still fucking
use
took
these
his...
good...
Yeah. So what absolute fucking scumbags.
They deserve this.
Everything.
But, I mean, how many coaches in the league would be given a lifeline if 2 of the last 5 games were 58 and 59-0?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck. Not many.
No.
If any. Tell him, Scribe.
Too busy sucking on my fucking...
Scratch that up, P-Money.
Again, it's Paul White's fucking ego because he's got him there and he was the one that put everything in motion and he's this fucking brilliant coach coming and we've got him from Souths and then it became a thing with Wayne and that would ultimately be admitting defeat.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And I don't think that too many people, or not that I've come across in those sort of positions,
are willing to...
They're not willing to, close their eyes and stick the jaw of their ego out to take a free hit.
Take the shot.
Put it that way.
Yeah. I mean, by the end of the day, I mean, it's...
Manly, how many?
It may be his job too.
We just spent fucking 10 minutes talking about if you're going to beat the Broncos. Jesus fuck.
Warriors versus North Queensland Cowboys at Central Coast Stadium. I think the Warriors didn't really lose too much out of that last loss to the Sharks. The Sharks were certainly a better side, and I don't think the Cowboys, though, were disgraced at all.
Nope.
The Warriors are going to have Lachlan Burr coming in with Papa Lee dropping to the reserves.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Hiku and Ignatius Parsi, right in the Parsi, they're right in the reserves, so they may come back as well. Cowboys. Ben Hampton and Granville are out, as is John Asiata.
Oof.
Okay. Allow me to scale back my enthusiastic endorsement of the Cowboys. Taumalolo's in 20, but I don't know if he's going to come back this week. Gavin Cooper is benched. Cohen Hess comes back in though. Reece Robson at hooker, which is not, we were only talking about that last week.
Yeah.
I mean, this is an opportunity for Reece Robson to perhaps make it his own. Look, still got to go to the Cowboys.
Yes.
Based on the evidence of the last 2 starts. I mean, remember the Warriors' epic and inspirational win against the odds was against the St. George Illawarra Dragons, who have been exposed as a 2-point scoring team again this week.
Yes,
just
against the Bulldogs.
Against the Bulldogs. So, yeah, Cowboys.
Yep.
The Eels versus the Panthers at Wankbest Friday evening. The Eels, Nathan Brown returns at lock. Takarangi and Oregon Kafusi are dropping out. Ray Stone joins the interchange. Penrith Panthers. Cleary returns. And so what's the deal? Because, I mean, on Tuesday, Burton was benched and Mitch Kenny dropped out. So Luai has since been ruled out, did you say?
I don't know if he's ruled out.
Or he's carrying.
The word was that he had a fucking MRI.
Oh, okay.
Or sorry, that he'd done an MRI.
For what?
No, he'd done his fucking medial.
Oh, MCL, okay.
Yeah, MCL. Fucking hell.
Okay, so, yeah, all right. Well, if that's the case, then he's going to be out for like 6 weeks or something,
Yeah,
right?
that's it. Minimum.
Okay, so we would expect Burton come back in there then.
Either way, I don't think Penrith have the composure over 80 minutes at the moment to take on that Parramatta side after what they showed against Manly.
I think the Parramatta side is still overrated and ripe for the picking.
Yeah, again, this side's the first game back for Cleary, so it's his first game back from the Rona break, and it's also his first game back with these new rules.
Yeah. I still think, I mean, the driving engine under these new rules, the driving engine is your hooker and your forwards mostly for the roll on, and then it's up to the backs to kind of
But for an active half in defence, he's going to need to manage himself very fucking carefully.
Yep.
Look, don't get me wrong, Penrith definitely have the potential and the cattle to get out there and win this game.
Yep.
But their fifth tackle options and their game management needs to be a lot better, because that's where Parramatta's excelling at the moment.
Yep.
You're right. They're not a team of all-stars. They're not a team of people that are out there and fucking absolutely dominating everywhere on the field. But Moses is controlling games exceptionally well.
Pinpoint kicking at the end of sets is just so fucking crucial.
Yes.
In this, starting your sets in good position is just so crucial in this form as well.
That's it. And just absolutely pepper fucking Gutho with bombs, because he's an overrated piece of shit who should never be called the king of fucking anything except a trash heap.
Just get down 10 metres out and just send Kickout straight at him, because if Ruben Garrick can fucking truck him like he did in the last play of the game, I think Kickout will fucking end him. Look, I'm leaning towards the Eels for that one, but it's one of those games where I'm just really interested to watch, because it's going to say a lot about the Penrith side.
Yeah, you're right.
And maybe tell us something more about Parramatta. Hopefully they're overrated and Penrith win. Rabbitohs take on the Titans. Bankwest Stadium again. James Roberts returns to the centres. Braden Burns then goes to the reserves. Cody Walker's back, so Dargan's out.
Yep.
And Bailey Sirinen comes into the 17 as well.
And we now return to our regular scheduled programming, where the Titans get analled.
Yeah, I would say so. Let's see how Latrell Mitchell goes at fullback when you have a Cody Walker, Adam Reynolds pair in the halves.
Yeah.
Will that change the dynamic? I mean, it's going to change the dynamic in a positive way in attack. Will Latrell benefit from that in a way that he looks maybe more like he belongs back there, or he can contribute in a more meaningful way? We'll find out. But the Souths will win whichever way they go about doing so.
Yep.
The Knights take on the Storm, Central Coast Stadium. Another big game of potential contenders for the year. Newcastle just off announcing themselves as a reasonable football side. The Storm, after just announcing themselves as partially adapted to the new conditions.
Yes.
Jerome Hughes is replaced by Riley Jacks. Christian Welch named up front. Brandon Smith on the bench. Big Nelson returns from suspension. And unchanged squad for the Knights. Hey, how good did Andrew McCulloch look? Honestly, though, he looked fucking great.
Yeah, he did.
Maybe it wasn't him that was the problem at the Broncos. Just maybe.
Well, there you go.
Scapegoats are certainly looking not as scapey when you put them in a new environment. Read Cody Nicarima as well.
100%.
Maybe the guys that left aren't the problem.
This is an opportunity for the Knights who, if you take the fucking bare basement level of trying to get a form line in the NRL, the Raiders beat the Storm.
Yep.
The Knights beat the Raiders. Mm-hmm. This lets them go out and really put themselves in a position to be a team that's considered a threat for the competition. And
the Storm aren't fully, they're not fully there yet.
There's an opportunity. They're not at their powers, you might say.
Yep.
In saying that, the Storm are the sort of team that are going to get better week on week.
Yep.
If they're not good at something, Bellamy will find out what they're not good on, and he will fucking drill them on how to get better at it until they do. More mental than anything, it'll be interesting to see how these Knights kids back up and get down and take on Melbourne. Probably a more athletic battle in the forward pack, whereas Canberra are more a bash and an overpower sort of side. Melbourne's forwards have a little bit more finesse about them. So I'll be interested to see how they do that. Bradman Best. No, I don't think he marries that up. We'll tip the Storm here.
All right. I'm torn on that one still. Could be either way. Tigers versus the Raiders at Campbelltown. Benji dropped to reserves.
Jesus Christ.
Dirty dogs.
Fuck, I hope the Raiders win this by a
Luke
field
Garner
goal.
and Billy Walters drop as well. And you know what? The Billy Walters dropping, I can support 100%, because fuck me, the Tigers look like a different side when Harry Grant comes off and Billy Walters comes on.
Yep.
1,000. Like, they are so much worse. I mean, I know people want to talk about Billy Walters as a second coming when it looks like the Harry Grant thing wasn't going to happen. But don't confuse yourselves. He is not shit.
Yep.
Compared to Harry Grant. TWiL comes on in the wing. Josh Reynolds at 5'8", replacing Benji. Zane Musgrove the prop. Chris Lawrence the second row. And Russell Packer and Michael Cheekham on the interchange. I thought that fucking Russell Packer had retired medically.
There you go.
But there you go. Surprises happen all the time. The Raiders, unchanged squad. Look, they had a bad fucking day. I think that Raiders side that beat the Storm, they can choke the life out of the West Tigers.
Yes, they can.
The thing that disappointed me most and surprised me most about the Canberra performance last week was just how fucking hopeless they were in defence.
Yeah.
Which is a characteristic that they haven't displayed in a long-ass time under Ricky Stewart's era. I mean, they might lose games late, but it wasn't because of generally bad defence. It was just, like the mental weakness under the pressure of the last 10 minutes. But it was one of the weakest defensive performances I've seen from them in a fucking long time.
Yeah.
At this stage, I'm going to say they won't repeat that. And Madge is going to get a rude lesson about what Benji Marshall brings to a side and what Josh Reynolds brings to a side in comparison. I mean, Benji raining tries and field goals and shit. Josh Reynolds probably, a week for tripping.
Yeah.
And
by how much? I don't see how Reynolds is the solution to the problems they have.
No.
Interesting coaching one. Raiders by plenty.
Doggies versus the Roosters at Bank West. Christian Crichton replaces Kerrod Holland on interchange. Morgan Harper in reserve. Remus Smith, he's at the judiciary, so he's a one-game ban, and that may have happened actually.
For a knee to the fucking head.
Roosters. Tedesco's back. Beamos to the wing. Ryan Hall goes to the reserves. No further discussion required. Roosters by 38.
Yes.
Dragons versus the Sharks. Campbelltown. The old derby. Let's see what the squad's doing for the Dragons this time. Ewan Aitken replaces Braden Williami. Fuimono comes on second row for Tarek Sims, who's injured, I believe. And Matt Duffy comes back in on the bench after missing last week. Okay, the Sharks. Townsend is back. Ugh. Matt Moylan goes to fullback. Will Kennedy goes to reserves. So out of the 17. Mulatalo injured, so Hiroti replaces him on the wing. And Fafita returns at prop, so Toby Rudolph drops the interchange.
Yep.
And Talakai is out. I'm tipping every team that plays the Dragons until further notice. So Sharks.
Yes.
Mary apparently has 4 weeks to turn things around. So I'm on the fucking edge with nerves at the moment. Because I'm wishing the best for the Dragons at this point. For one win out of the next 4 or something. Because in the 5th game, it's Manly. And I would love to see Desmond cut off another set of ears for his necklace.
Ooh, interesting.
So if you can survive to that game, it may be another confirmed kill for Desi.
Ouch.
Okay, a mailbag. Where are we? Oh, my document scrolled way too far. There we go. Okay, so first up is Chris. He emailed this for the members show, but I'm going to take it here on the main one. He says, I put this in the mailbag for last week, however, it was not addressed. I'll ask you here so you can answer under the protection of your paywall. 5 years ago this week, DCE was given his lifetime contract at the Sea Eagles. Since then, they've ended the NRL season 9th, 13th, 6th, 15th, 6th, currently 8th. Do you think Manly are regretting the decision given they did not miss the finals for 10 years straight prior to offering this contract? Are the Sea Eagles now resigned to accepting these mediocre outcomes for the rest of DCE's tenure at the club? So firstly, I'd like to say to Chris and all our listeners, we value the mailbag submissions from our listeners. And given across our various platforms, Twitter and Facebook and the emails that come to us and things like that, I mean, we have 100 a week to cull from, and we just simply don't have the time to get to all of them.
And to be fair, I fucking veto most of the ones talking about that shit cunt pencil-necked fucking socially awkward walking autism.
So the members podcast is somewhere we can easily track back. We like as people who listen to the members podcast know. I mean, we always say like if we don't get to the questions, there are weeks when we have less questions and we want to do more. So we can sort of shuffle things around and we can get back to them do the timely ones or the ones that need to be done that week, and then we can sort of get back to the more general ones at other times. That's no problem. That's the fabric of the members show. But believe me that. If there's too much mailbag on this show, the flagship show, all we hear is talk about footy, from fucking retards. So now we understand that side of things. I don't appreciate the cunty tone, Chris. Like we were ducking your question or something like that. The second thing I would say, if you're going to come, you're going to have to fucking come correct. Because 2015 doesn't count. It wasn't under the lifetime deal. This year isn't finished. But it's clear that Manly are one of the top teams in the competition. So what we left here is 4 years under discussion, 16 to 19. Of those 4 seasons, they made the finals twice. 3 of those seasons were under Trent Barrett, who's universally recognised as the worst coach and biggest cancer in the history of rugby league. Further evidence by the fact that Des Hasler arrived and took what was more or less the exact same squad, and with one preseason took him from 15th to the finals. And not only finals, but they were robbed of participating in a grand final qualifier against a team that they fucking own, having won 5 of their 6 games against them, the last 6 games against them, as I'm sure you, as a Canberra fan, are fucking well aware. So in conclusion, I look forward to finals this year and every year until Daly chooses to end his career and excel in the next phase of his life as he's excelling in the current one.
I got to say, I'm impressed that you said all of that without taking a breath, just like Daly would have.
Hey.
But not because he was overly passionate, just because that's how he talks.
Greatness runs in the Manly supporter line. Jason said, okay, don't laugh too hard because I'm a Bronx fan. How much of a disadvantage are some of the teams who built their roster up for a certain kind of game then have the rules change in an instant? And is it something that can be fixed with training, or will they need to change rosters now to suit? I would put it to you, sir, that their rosters aren't built for a certain type of game. I don't think that the changes made are a personnel issue for the most part. I think they're just a coaching and tactical thing. And sure, training has to change. Probably get guys fitter and running more.
Yeah,
obviously you're backing off the jiu-jitsu training and that sort of stuff because the wrestlers, they're trying to abolish it. It's important, but it's not as paramount because you don't have, fucking 8 seconds or whatever. You can just like lay on a guy anymore.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's too much of an issue with the players as a whole. And as we've seen, while not all of the clubs have adapted to the new format with, complete success, they kind of got the idea.
And in my vein of giving credit where it's due, a very improved player week on week is Aaron Woods, who was absolutely fucking abysmal in his first hit out under the new rulings.
Yep.
And whilst he still, unfortunately, can't do anything about being Aaron Woods, was probably a better version of Aaron Woods. And I understand exactly the point you're trying to make, though, because you look at those 2 teams who were in the grand final, and it was, again, the Dogs Souths grand final.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the year before the interchange was dropped back by 2. And to your point, there were a lot of teams that had rosters that were built for that style, and then the rules changed and they had to adjust. Yeah, I do think that fitness has to get better. Your Broncos, for example, the role that Matt Lodge played last year, he can't play anymore.
Yep.
You need your Pingus and those guys who are athletic as well as strong. So Lodge either needs reduced minutes for bigger impact, which means other people have to step up.
Yeah, but I mean, we haven't had the chance to even see Pingu how he reacts. He's a big guy.
Yeah, he is. But regularly played big minutes under the old regime.
Yeah, but big minutes under this regime. They're different minutes.
Yeah, I know, but it's okay. Yeah. So then what? He just goes to normal prop minutes.
Yeah. Well.
So.
Yeah. So he kind of loses part. He loses
he does.
What his thing was.
But in the scheme of things.
Yep. I think it's more coaching and tactical rather than roster, though.
Yep.
Most of the clubs have adapted, in some sort of way, and the clubs that tend to be suffering the most were kind of the clubs that were the worst anyway.
Yeah.
So, Trent said, "Is the Tigers losing to the Titans Benji's fault? How can Corey Thompson not make this side? Benji seems to be the only level head amongst them. Leilu is calling ref's fault. Madge is obviously sending a massive warning shot. My preference would be to send it straight to the problem. Seriously, Benji and Thompson, along with Harry Grant, would be my first picks. Can we not loan the whole Melbourne Storm feeder team?" Well, I appreciate your love for Corey Thompson. I'm not as high on him as you are. And I wouldn't get too attached to him because as far as I know, there are moves afoot to get him to the Titans like right away, like fairly soon.
Yeah.
I can't believe it hasn't happened. I thought it was going to happen before the game, but it didn't. But as far as I know, that's still sort of something they're trying to work on. But yeah, like as we said in the game thing, I mean, what's fucking Luke Brooks? What's he fucking contributing to the side?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna statistically hit Benji for being around fucking, 6 of the 11, line breaks or fucking defensive breakdowns.
Luke Brooks does fucking nothing except be a walking uncanny valley.
Yep,
that's all he's good for. You see him and you just know there's something not right about him.
Timmy McIntyre. Will Manly fans claim they were robbed if the Broncos beat them?
Of course.
If it's a bullshit fucking forward pass or something that's obviously a fucking game-winning try, yeah, sure, they probably will.
Yes.
Because, robberies aren't robberies unless it's actually a fucking robbery. If they lose to the Broncos, it's just, unless there's an egregious thing, it's an embarrassment. Kyle. Does anyone else get the feeling the Eels are going to take the mantle from the Dragons of past seasons and be the new June premiers? I'm waiting for them to taper off. They seem like they only play well when things are going their way. I see why you say that, and I would agree to an extent, but at the same time, they seem to be able to impose themselves on games enough to keep them competitive or win them.
I think they have enough self-belief, and they don't have that spectre that the Dragons have about choking about them either.
Yeah, but, there was a year at one point in history when the Dragons choked for the first time.
Yeah, true.
And then eventually they choked for the third, fourth, fifth time. Then it became a thing.
Yes.
This could be ground zero. You don't know.
That is true.
Isaac, thoughts on Bradman Best? Obviously, it's early to say, but just first impressions. You heard our game review. We fucking love him.
I'm on fucking Best Island.
He is the true hype machine of Newcastle. And honestly, Newcastle fans should stop talking about fucking Ponga because you're embarrassing yourselves and
Correct.
Get on Bradman Best when you'll have the rest of the fucking NRL supporting public agreeing with you. David said, if or when Mary gets a sack, what are your thoughts on Shane Flanagan possibly being moved back into a head coaching role? Considering his history, he's a stain in the game and shouldn't even be in an assistant role, in my opinion. Look, I don't think he should be in an assistant role either at the moment, but also I am a believer of he did the crime, and then once he completes the sentence, then he can come back, and if he can gain employment in the game, then so be it, because he served out the sentence that was given to him.
Yep.
I'm dead against his sentence being reduced because there's a perceived need at the Dragons to install him as a head coach.
Yeah.
I'm dead against that. But once he serves the time they gave him, and if there are no reductions for bullshit reasons, then I've got no problem with it. There's got to be like a pathway to redemption for some things, especially when it was like,
Yeah, just fucking rorting.
Well, it's not. Especially when you see some of the shit that go on in other sports as well.
Yeah,
like fucking New Orleans Saints. Their coach had a year suspension because they put bounties on. They gave defensive bounty payments to players who injured opposition players. Like there's a fucking egregious shit going on out there in the world of sport.
Yeah, well done. Well, yeah. To me, that's fucking nothing compared to what Flanagan did. Being involved in a systemic culture of drug use within the club.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't as bad as like the Storm salary cap thing.
Wasn't
what I mean? Like, no, fuck no. Fuck no.
Okay.
Well, not even close. I mean, like the fact they killed...
I don't think they're comparable.
Well, the fact they killed poor old Johnny Manor was fucking not cool.
No, it wasn't.
But other than that.
Okay.
Shane said, why do people still consider Bennett to be a good pickup for their club when he has a history of absolutely destroying a club's roster on the way out the door? He would give the USSR in 1941 lessons on scorched earth.
Oof.
in the modern day, I would be inclined to agree. But remember, with the first time when he left the Broncos, they were like roster wise, they were fine.
Yeah.
They were great. They fucked up by getting like Ivan Henjak in, and he was a failure of coach. And then they had Hook, who was like okay, but not great. And I think they've failed at coaching installments more than he burned, like more than he scorched the Broncos. And even when he's come back to the Broncos the most recent time, he took them to the finals every year, but it wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
Finals every year wasn't good enough because Brisbane's in this fucking bubble where they have to be the Kings or they're nothing. Now.
And look, it was tough at the Dragons, but
Dragons,
to be fair, right? That was a roster that he didn't build, and it was very clear to all parties. It was Wayne. We need you to get in here. We got this core group of kids that are 80%.
Yeah, they were ready to win and needed to.
We just need you to give them the extra shove.
Yeah,
and he understood that.
Just the Heimlich. And just stop them from choking.
Yeah,
again.
spot
on. But I mean, the way he left them was fucked. Newcastle. Yeah, I think Newcastle had deeper problems than just what Wayne was doing. I mean, remember that they had all the funding issues and Tinkler going ass up, and there was a lot of shit going on at the time. But I'm prepared to agree and say, he scorched the earth. Then I think that Wayne, I think he's too old to be building a roster at this stage.
Yes.
Again, I don't think he's interested in doing it.
The key I heard in Wayne Bennett is that he would need, for lack of a better term, a youth translator. Just like if you go and do business in a foreign country, you take a translator or a cultural consultant.
So is he getting okay boomer at the Broncos?
Just in that.
Trell's giving him the okay boomer.
No, not so much that, but just in... So because Wayne knows what it's like to get on the beers and knows what that does to you and knows what you look like the day after a session or the week after a session, he's okay with that sort of stuff and he can pick up on that and he can work with it and help people out of tough times. But it's when you've got the a player that you pulled from the Raiders to come to your club that's out doing fucking white lines every second night that you've got no idea about that and how it affects you and those sorts of things. That's where he'd lost touch with a couple of the younger players. It doesn't sound like he's got too many of those problems in Souths, but in terms of a leader and a mentor, there aren't too many coaches that are spoken about by ex-players the way he is, so I still think there's a bit of value there.
Yep. Daniel said, is the Broncos getting smashed every week the best thing to happen to the game in decades?
Yes.
Yes. Nathan says, I think this week in league, pardon the pun, has been pretty good for a couple of reasons. One, the Broncos have been called out on their elitist behaviour and humbled by rightfully being put in their place as a subpar footy team. And two, Buzz Cocksucker has yet again been called out by a player for being a shit-tier journalist. I hope he did go to that breakfast with Josh Reynolds. Me too, as he wouldn't, because he's a fucking coward. Michael, what are your thoughts on players backflipping? Is there a way to stop it from happening? Should the players just honour the contract? Rumours going around that Rudolph is asked to stay at Cronulla. I don't know. Man up and fucking stop players from backflip. I mean, honest, that's what it is. If you don't want to play at a backflip, then hold them to the legal document that they signed. I mean, if you structure your contracts in such a way, like for example with Daly, where he had months to pull the pin. Yeah. You structure your shit that way, you fucking get everything you deserve. Because what you've done is you've signaled your intentions, and you've given the incumbent club the opportunity. You've given the incumbent club the opportunity. You've given them X amount of months or days or weeks to pitch reasons why you shouldn't.
That is correct.
And when Titans are the team that they're going to, there's not a lot of fucking reasons that you've got that you can parade over other clubs.
Yep, spot on.
Even the state that the Manly was at that time.
Yes.
And it's just weird, like the whole backflip. People forget it. They're forgetting about like the fucking Teddy backflipping on Canberra.
Yep.
And that shit.
Yep.
Like there's.
I'm a long time fucking complainer about the current state of contracts.
Yep.
That pretty much allow players to do what they want when they want it and face no consequences for absolute shit performances for extended periods of time.
Yep. When a player can fall out with a coach because they're not pulling their weight and the coach calls them on it.
Yep.
and then they can just sort of basically, throw a tantrum until they're released and go to a stronger club. There's something wrong with the fucking system when that's the case.
That's it.
So, look, if you don't want players backflipping, don't put clauses in things that allow it to happen.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a clause and they try and backflip, fucking legally hold them to what it is, because at the end of the day, you're paying them money.
Yeah.
They're going to fucking toe the line.
That's it.
I mean, they're gonna sulk for a week or two.
Yep.
But by the time the preseason rolls around and you're training and they get around the boys and they make their friends, I mean, it's just hold them to the legal shit that they've signed.
Spot on.
Mark said, when is the NRL going to get real? Piss off TPAs as they're a stain on the game and introduce a KPI fund that's managed centrally by the league and does not count in the salary cap per the NFL. Get a whole heap of contingency sponsors to pay into the fund and then mandate their logos appear all over team strips so the cost is nil to all. And he sent a link to the NFL site. And the NFL system is very good. Although it's not like a TPA system, it appears to be a way for low contract value players to top up their earnings based on playing a lot of games and having excellent performances.
Mm-hmm.
Like the highest earner of the document, I think the one he sent through was like 2018 or something. The highest earner was a center for Baltimore, who through this scheme, he earned. There's like a veteran amount of money.
Yep.
There's like a veteran pool that veterans can access.
Yep.
And then there's like a performance pool. And between both of them, he got about 130, I think, from the veterans one. And he got whatever. He ended up making about $550,000 additional to his contract.
There you go.
That year. It's not the same as TPAs, but I see what you're saying with it. And, and if the TPAs could be I don't know how you'd structure it that way, but like a central pool or whatever that players could then that advertisers could approach the game and say, I want that player or something, and then the players are remunerated from that.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I could see how it'd be a good thing. But, yeah.
Yeah. Look, I agree that TPAs are a fucking blight, and I really don't see why they're anyone's fucking business. I think that the NRL should have a salary cap, and that's what clubs can pay you.
Yep.
And if you can get sponsored by anybody else, fucking great.
Yep.
You work at the same as all these other sports that manage to do it. You can get sponsored by whoever you want. Your NRL jersey can't appear in anything. That's why you see all the fucking ads with everyone in blank jerseys or in
sport,
normal clothes.
Training gear,
Get your fucking hands out of it, NRL.
Brendo, which NRL player would you least like to shape up against in a street fight? Personally, I feel like John Bateman would fight to the death and can probably fight.
John Bateman's an Englishman, which means he's fucking soft.
Yep. And I was seeing Whiten throw hands. I mean, I know he can fucking throw them. I wouldn't want to fight him. I'm trying to think who else has like been renowned for throwing down. I mean, with it being removed from the game, you don't sort of see who can knuckle as much these days. But
can you imagine punching Nathan Cleary? Fucking shatter my hand. Like it'll just turn into dust.
Yeah, that's true. Still want to do it though. Punchable face. So fucking punchable. Fucking Rocky Dennis motherfucker.
Who else is throwing them? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think the question, the reverse of that is like, which player would you most like to fight in a street fight? Like, I mean, if it were one where it was like a prize fight, and you're selecting your opponent because you want to win, you go like Aaron Woods, for example.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that motherfucker would be Bob Sapp. I mean, the first time you hit him with a decent punch, he'd just be tapping.
Yes,
instantly.
That's it.
But yeah, I don't know. I've got to say, I've never had the thought about John Bateman and fighting him.
Nice.
Tipping didn't bring up the tipping comp last week. I forgot all about it. To be honest, I had a fucking practice with the Rona. Number one, out by themselves on 26, we have Suliasi Vuni Gugu. Then we have a logjam second through to fourth. 6 again, Nah, Cowboy, Christian Lin, and Mayan Ratterson. And we go back to Mayan Ratterson. We got 6 again, Nah, Cowboy, Christian Lin. Then we got Mayan Ratterson, JBB, Al Bundy, One Eyed Tiger, Danny Ward, and Goodnight CJ.
Yeah.
The round out of 10.
Fantastic.
That is it for episode 354. Thanks for listening, everyone. As always, interact with us on Twitter at TWI League. Facebook community lives at hashtag TwilNation. So go to facebook.com/groups/TwilNation. And we're seeing quite an influx of people into the group over the last week. It's been very nice to see. Our Facebook page is facebook.com/thisweekinleague. Make sure you like that up and share the shit as well. And we've seen a lot of likes hit that one as well this week. So something's happening from somewhere. I don't know where you're coming from. If you're new to the show, hit us up. Let us know how you found us and all of that sort of thing. Introduce yourself, become part of the community. It's awesome. And if you'd like to support the show, make sure you drop us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. And if you want to go the extra mile, our digital memberships are still available and can be picked up at any time for $3.99 a month. Or if you're a member already, $1.99 a month. You can't beat that with a bat. Value. MC Hammer can't touch that.
No. How the fuck are we
I know. How the fuck? I feel like we raced through stuff tonight and we're stuck at 2 hours 20. Here we fucking are.
All those fucking member questions.
Yeah. Well, look.
You fucking thirsty cunts.
Yeah. But we did it for you anyway.
Love you.
Even when you didn't ask nicely. Because that's the kind of guys we are.
Yes.
And see you next week.
Later.